So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirits, my intuition, the tarot, to communicate energies to you guys, most fabulous viewers. If you are new to this channel, welcome. I am so glad you found me. I hope that this reading resonates and that you guys stay and subscribe. And if it does not, there are plenty of other readings available to you through my playlist there. And I do suggest that you listen to the disclaimer, specifically if it's your first time to tarot. But if it's your first time here to this channel, then just so you get familiar with how it is that I'm channeling through here. If you are returning, I am so blessed to be here and so grateful. I know a lot of new subscribers come for the love readings. Okay, and I know some of you guys are more on the healing path of self-discovery. And so I try to do a balance of readings. Okay, so this one will be about how the person on your mind is feeling about you. And it's going to be looking at your feelings first so that you can know whether that pile is resonating for you. And then the back end will be the person's feelings and why it is that they're feeling the way that they're feeling. Okay, so they are justifying their own feelings, however they do so. It could be something that is projected. It could be something that is just totally in their own sort of made up world. Okay, but whatever justifications they have for their feelings will pull through why they feel the way they feel so that you get some insight as to why this person's feeling how they are. Okay, so this is why it's important that we resonate with the energy in the first half being our own, so that you're not just running with some sort of tarot reading on YouTube. Now, please keep in mind that a lot of my readings, in fact, most of my readings come sort of flipped and reversed, meaning you've tapped into sort of your own energy pile. And so it will look at the beginning part might be your person's feelings, and then the back end might be a deep look into your feelings and why. Okay, so if that's the case, you can listen, or you can go check out another pile and hopefully find your person's energy. But sometimes Spirit wants you to hear certain messages. I cannot control how it comes out. Okay, so if you don't like how it's coming out and you want fast food tarot, then there's plenty of fast food readers. I'm not going to start reading like everybody else because that's how you prefer. If that's what you want, then there's plenty available to you. This is going to be exactly what comes through here, and Spirit knows how I'm channeling this information. And so sometimes it is very high level. We're trying to see 3D, and that's fine. If you want to see 3D, you can. But if Spirit comes through with the 5D or the ethereal or something here that might be hard to wrap your mind around, then it might not necessarily be your reading. Okay, if you're not prepared to hear that, then it won't make any sense, and you could just go to another reading, another reader altogether. Okay, but Spirit will put you in front of whatever it is you're needing to hear, and I will channel whatever it is that comes through here for whoever needs to hear it. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's your pile just because you clicked on it. You could click on a million things on the internet. Doesn't mean it's for me. Okay, so beautiful angels, these are the decks I'll be using for today's reading. I'll hold up the 4 options shortly, but I'll put a link right here to the tarot deck reveal, because this is a perfect way for you to energetically charge these cards for future readings as I open these decks and go through each of the cards. Okay, so these are the oracle cards right here, and these are the tarot decks I'll be using for all 4 of the options. Okay, so for option number 1, we have the Divina Tarot deck. Option number 2, we have the Osiris Tarot. Option number 3, we have the, I think this is the Prisma, no, sorry, the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. I always want to call it the Prisma Tarot. Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. And then for option number 4, we have the Guardian of the Night Tarot. Okay, so here we have the 4 options. Sit with it, and if you're pulled to multiple, your person's energy could be in multiple piles, okay? Or not sort of these linear beings that only are a singular dimension. There could be many different aspects pulling through. Okay, so just keep an open mind, but do not force it to fit. And like I said, the energy in one side of the piles or one side of the reading should match your energy. Okay, so I'll leave the video running for a bit. Take your time. And then when you're ready, select from the timestamp below, and I will see you guys at your pick. Pile 1, how are you? I hope you guys are doing very well. You guys picked the Divina Tarot deck, and we're looking at the person on your mind and how this person feels and why they feel the way they feel, or how they're justifying their feelings energetically. Okay, but first we're going to dive into your energy, and we're going to see if this is your pile. Okay, this is how you're feeling or how you're seeing the connection. And if you resonate with this being your energy, then this is most likely your pile. Now, if it's flipped, this could be your person's energy coming through, and you could be on the back end of this reading. Okay, Spirit has all sorts of reasons why it delivers the way it delivers, so don't write it off, but keep an open mind. If this sounds familiar energetically, like you or your person, then this could be your pile. Okay, but you don't have to listen to it, of course. If you want it straight up, then maybe this isn't the reading for you or another pile. Okay, so Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 1. How will they know that this is their reading? Their feelings, their thoughts about the person on their mind at this time, current feelings about the connection, about their person. How is pile 1 feeling? How will they know that this is their pile? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of this connection. The viewer, thank you so much. And thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. Now, there is a promotion on my website currently. You can save 35% off by entering the code Sunshine35. Okay, and that runs till the end of March, and it's 35% off all jewelry readings and it's pretty much site wide. Anything there that piques your interest, then enter code Sunshine35. I'll put the information below to that promotion. Okay, so we won't dive into the oracles just yet, but let's take a look at your energy here. So we have the 2 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I don't read bottom of the deck reverse. 6 Cups, the Magician, Virgo, Gemini, Ace of Cups, beautiful. 10 of Wands in reverse, oopsie, and the 10 Pentacles in reverse, and the 4 of Cups in reverse, and then the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, and then the 2 of Wands is under the 2 of Wands is the 2 of Cups. Okay, I got the energy. Let me get my wand, which I should always have ready, but for some reason I always get it at the beginning of the reading. First pot. Just give me a second here to really immerse myself in this energy. Okay. There's a whole lot I'm picking up intuitively for you to get here because I'm asking about current energy. This really, really feels like you already have a history here with this person. I don't feel like it's, sort of a new person that you just started dating and you're sort of curious. You've been energetically involved. Okay, whether it's got anywhere or not, maybe whether it's got off the ground or not is sort of irrelevant here. But I feel your energy has reached a new sort of conclusion or a new decision. Okay, so I'm assuming you've reached a new decision because you've been in old energy for some time when it comes to this person and this connection, because I do feel like this person has been somebody here who has either not committed or stepped forward or did something here that would make you feel like you were ready to sort of hitch your wagon to this person's energy so that you could build with this person. Now, it doesn't mean that you never wanted to or that you don't want to, but I feel like whatever energy they are in isn't enough here for you. And I do feel for a lot of you guys, it's like you're really looking at your own energy. This feels like someone who is really surrendering to, I cannot wait around, or I cannot invest, or I cannot do whatever I was doing because the desire and the lessons towards what you truly want is in front of you, and it means that you'd have to make different decisions here. I feel like there is, a strong desire to have a connection, and I feel like it's an energy that's almost like there's two things sort of coming through. Either the desire to have a connection is stronger than the love we're sort of having to feel for this person, okay? Or we have an understanding that in order to connect with love here in a way that's actually aligned for us, we have to surrender and move forward. We can't stay stuck, which I feel is for most of you guys, which is correct, It's like, I got to choose myself. I got to choose to be happy. And I am living in this 3D world, and I want to build something in this 3D world. And so if this person is just sort of more energetically feeding off of me and it's not going anywhere, then why would I continue to hope, wish, or stick around, or play small, or do any of this sort of stuff? There does seem to be a very strong soul tie here. So a lot of you guys might resonate with having a past life with this person, okay? Or you might have experienced the connection, like however you did experience this person. And then for a lot of you guys, something brought you guys apart. So either a period of no contact, maybe a separation, and maybe it got to a certain point and then it didn't progress. But what I do feel is that it reached a certain point in which I think you had to accept something that, was difficult to accept at some point, that you might have wanted to go one way and this person was either fixed, stuck, or not willing to step up or go with you in a direction. So I do feel like you are really focused on self, is how it really feels here. Okay, and it's like, I don't want to be the only one sort of invested. I don't want to be the only one sort of dreaming about a future here. And if it feels like if this person isn't willing to invest in a solid 3D future with me, then I feel like I'd be, I don't know, like wasting my time or disappointed or just sort of not getting emotionally fulfilled with a future that I want to build for myself. And so I have no choice but sort of to surrender or leave this. And some of you guys might be on good terms with this person. Okay, and some of you guys, for some of you guys, you might have recently sort of maybe even reconciled with this person in some way, but it's still very apparent to you that it's like, regardless if we're friends, regardless if we're in communication, or regardless if we've come back together, there's an idea and an understanding of something I want to build, like a family for a lot of you guys, commitment. Like you have a long-term understanding of what this should mean and could look like for you. And if it doesn't come, it's like, I don't want to stick around here, and I have to make decisions that will help move me forward towards this vision, and it does include another person, like a relationship, a family, someone who is going to be at my level, who will invest in me emotionally, but also can commit or build something here, or promise to commit something, because this is what's important to me. And so I have to choose myself. So there's a choosing of self here. Now, I also feel, okay, because for some of you guys, this could be your person's energy and you could be on the back end. And I have to sort of read this part too, even though I don't think there's too many of you guys with this energy here. But it does feel to me like if you're involved with this person feels very tied to you spiritually, Okay, there's a past life, like I said, connection or bond. And this person has been really sort of working through their childhood hangups. And so they're really having to work on self-love and your strength and your support and your friendship. And this connection is helping this person work through this family dynamic, or if they're not in a family, because this could be like, like their sort of first family, not necessarily like a married family, but for some of you guys, maybe they've built a family. Okay, but it does feel like childhood family or something like this. Something that they've created previous to you that has kept this person maybe feeling like they couldn't get what they wanted in life, like maybe they sacrificed themselves or martyred themselves for family traditions or certain things like this, or just their upbringing kept them playing small or stuck, or they never really allowed themselves to move towards connection. And so I do feel like you could have been involved. Yeah, there's definitely these two camps here, okay? Involved with this person who might have been not ready to move forward, not ready to commit. Maybe you felt rejected by this person, or this person just had fear of rejection. And so they never committed, and they were having to part with some aspect of their life, that kept them sort of feeling like they had to stay there. But it was also very heavy and burdensome because it was at the expense of this person finding happiness for themselves. So I do feel like this person energetically hasn't been able to physically pour into you. And I do feel like you do feel this person's emotions for you. There's definitely love here for you. But it's like before this person can step forward, they were having to work on self-love and really accepting that they're worthy of engaging in relationship, which I think they're doing. And you would notice that there's more sort of confidence in emotionally sort of claiming what they want. Okay, but I feel like it's the emotions are there. You feel the emotions are there, but now it's like, where is this person going to take this? Is this person going to work through their hang-ups? Because for a lot of you guys, like I said, there's something about past relationships or family or childhood that wasn't allowing this person to break free from some sort of inability to commit and invest and build a future for you. So there's a decision. It's like, do I want to stay small, or do I want to remain how I am? Or even for some of you guys, like choose between a family sort of structure and my new life or this relationship with you. And so this person could have been controlling a lot of the narrative here because there was a lot of fear. So for some of you guys, if they had childhood wounds or something like this, then it's like, I fear being rejected or abandoned, and so I stay put here. And so they were having to work through self-love and acceptance and abandonment wounds and anything that's happened for others. If this person was in a past marriage or relationship that didn't quite work, then it was like them having to go through a period of trying to, again, like control narrative here and surrender to this connection and their deep feelings for you. Because one thing for sure here, there's deep feelings. Okay. And in order for them to be able to practically invest energetically to build something in the 3D, they need more than just feelings here. There needs to be a vision of future and commitment. And they're going to have to overcome their fear of rejection or being abandoned. And that's here. Okay. Or maybe they were in a position where they felt like they couldn't invest resources. So either they were lacking or whatever, I don't know, money, job, a home, a thing, It's like this person might have felt emotionally stuck in the past, Some of you guys maybe even mature, or like they were needing to grow up or grow out of a situation. So if they had a divorce or a poor experience, they might have been sort of having to overcome that thing. If they were coming from a family home, it's like they were really sort of tied to that. And they need to graduate to this more independent energy of self and relationship outside of the home. Okay. And the confidence in themselves to follow their heart and not have to control. And they'd have to consciously choose this new path. And so they might have been more comfortable in the path that they know and the path that they sort of experience, and could have been stuck there for some time. And so this person is surrendered. Okay, they're surrendering to their heart. They are in a point here where they understand that how they feel, and they understand that there's a decision in front of them. And I don't feel like this person, again, has maybe communicated a vision or has committed or feels in a position that they could invest materially. So I don't know if they feel they need finances, or maybe they need to travel towards you, or maybe they need more independence financially, or break free from some form of family structure that maybe has their resources, you know? And so it's like, how can I build this future with pile number one? I have to choose myself. Okay, so there's a lot of love here. There's a desire for a new beginning. And they feel very connected to you. And so that's coming through for this energy as well. So sorry to confuse it, but that's definitely two sort of channels we're getting here. If this resonated, then we're going to do the back end and see, okay, because I know for some of you guys it was your energy, for some of you guys it was the person you're dealing with. So hopefully this back end will clarify. And maybe that was it for some of you guys, wanting to know how your person was feeling. And that was exactly it, surrender. So I don't know what I said, but we're going to read exactly what comes through in regards to the person you came here about, and how are they feeling currently, and why? Why do they feel the way that they feel? Okay, sort of like looking at their justification to their feelings. And then we'll use the oracle cards to clarify. So clear and concise message for pile one, Spirit. Thank you so much for that channel. We're looking at pile one, person they came here about, their feelings, and why. Please help me to channel this in a way that pile one will understand. For the greatest and highest good of this connection, please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. Thank you so much, Spirit. And again, thank you so much, pile one. I do realize you have a lot of readers you can go see. And so I do appreciate you coming to see me here for your reading. And trust me in tapping into this energy. So, yeah, let's take a look. 5 Pentacles. The Fool in reverse. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. The 6 of Cups again. The 4 of Pentacles. And the Lovers in reverse, and the Ace of Wands, and the 7 of Cups. Okay, so the first energy that I'm picking up here, actually, I'm seeing sort of the two ways again. Good, thank you, Spirit. So let's say that first energy that you resonate with being your energy, and you feeling like that person you're wanting to have more with was sort of feeling stuck for you. Okay, how is that person feeling? I feel like that person, you're right, there is an opportunity for this person to take a chance on this connection. Okay, like really trust themselves, trust the universe, leave their baggage behind. And I feel like this person does have a lot of love for you. Okay, so how they're feeling, they have a lot of love for you. But I feel like this person does feel very stuck in a comfort zone of sorts, which doesn't allow them to take a chance on this connection. And I do feel like this person understands there's something very special about this connection. And when I say special, the Lovers is here in the 6 of Cups. This would be a very destined, soulful connection. There's soul recognition here. There's an understanding that there's something destined about this connection that should be acted upon, that isn't being acted upon here. Okay, and I feel like this person, the way that they sort of engage with you seems to be like an Ace of Wands type energy. And this is why you sort of come to the conclusion that you had to move forward, because an Ace of Wands is like a match, it comes hot and heavy and it sort of fizzles out. There's no substance or meat behind this thing unless we could sustain it. And so I do feel like this person gets an urge, to sort of engage with you because of these strong, intense underlying truths. Okay, like the Lovers is a major arcana. The universe understands there's this spiritual energy that's going on beneath the surface here when it comes to a spiritual tie. Okay, so maybe there's a past life agreement of sorts that you'd sort of wake this person up or come somehow to deliver energy to this person that they're needing to take some form of action upon. But if we're not surrendered, if we still haven't done the work that we're sort of needing to see or understand, and we sort of stay put, this person feels very held back in their comfort zone. Okay, and I do feel like Spirit has a message for you regarding if you are really, really resonating with a spiritual tie, or a soul contract here, and know that something is destined here because it's deeper than just a regular sort of connection. There's something about you independently sort of freeing your energy. So you're on the right path, okay, which is you picking the wand of moving forward with yourself. And I don't think you have quite energetically done this. I feel there's a dependency here on what this person is doing in the 3D, what they're showing to me. Okay, and that's what I was saying. Like a lot of you guys were like, I want to see in the 3D commitment and a build and all of this. So we're sort of putting the cart before the horse in some capacity. This doesn't mean that we shouldn't want some form of build or that, but that is just a small part of this lesson, because this is soul, and as soul and soul contracts and learning of unconditional love has absolutely nothing to do with whether we live with someone or what they're giving to us in the pentacle realm with words. Okay, and building something in the 3D. Now, that doesn't mean that, again, that we shouldn't want something like this. That means this has nothing to do with this sort of connection. And so you can move towards building something in the 3D with someone for sure. Okay, but the lesson here that this person specifically, because we're looking at why are things sort of happening that the way that they are, I don't feel this person's going to say, there's a deep soul lesson I'm supposed to learn here, All that they're knowing is I have to protect myself. And so I am held back. But I know that I feel fire here for you. And I know that if I just sort of don't do anything at all, then I could lose out on something that feels very deep, but I can't put my finger on what I'm supposed to be doing here. But the fear of risking and stepping forward and committing and letting myself sort of be open and exposed and follow this connection is not where I'm at. And I'm not here because I haven't really sort of let the baggage go. And this baggage could be all sorts of things. Like I said, it could be pains of the past, whatever is keeping them sort of not in a position to trust themselves to leave the past behind and risk sort of jumping in here, and so they're energetically held back. I don't feel they're committing to you. I feel like your energy, if you resonate with that first part of the reading that I did, but the very, very beginning of it, that you've been still in the material realms, depending on this person's ability to show up, commit, or what they can give to you in the 3D. So it feels very transactional here. And Spirit is saying this type of a connection cannot be based on transaction. And so when we learn to go it alone in some way and move forward energetically, this person will have no choice but to really examine this universe lesson. Okay, the universe is giving this person a lesson, because I feel like this person is going to be stuck here in a inability to share love, open up, and trust themselves to flow and connection. And this is their opportunity to do so. So I do feel like this person has to experience some form of a loss. Okay, this is Live of Pentacles. This is the 5. Okay, but the F is an L for whatever reason, because they don't know cursive. But anyway, so the 5 of Pentacles here is a lack mindset, scarcity. Okay, I feel like both you guys, because there's mirroring for sure, are having to work through the 3D sort of aspects of this and move beyond, because this isn't about 3D. Like I said, this is soulful, this is spiritual. And so the spiritual 5D work needs to be understood and done before the 5D, or sort of the 3D, can sort of manifest. And so as long as we believe in lack and scarcity, then we haven't sort of done the thing. And so I feel like this person, okay, is uncommitted here with this 7 of Cups, but it's not because they just want to sort of fuck around here. It's because when I choose this connection, which is very intense, by the way, and very scary, I have to open up and I have to let go of some sort of story and some baggage here that has kept me safe and protected. So there could be abandonment wounds. Okay, like for sure, abandonment wounds and experience of the past that I had that it makes me very, very fearful of intense, deep connections here. And so I'm going to hold myself back. And I don't really sort of energetically give to you the thing that you're wanting me to give to you because I'm not there yet and I'm not in a position to do this. And so you feel confusion from me. You feel open-ended from me. You might feel like I'm not, like certain about you. You might feel like I'm just sort of, I don't know, like coming in wanting some sort of attention even, or like unreliable, or I just sort of show up at this very surface and it doesn't go anywhere. And it creates all sorts of confusion here. And and if you ask them, they're even more confused. And so you seem like a dream to this person, which you are, because again, for someone in this energy, it's like, this isn't something I could make real because I haven't learned the lesson. So I believe you to be some sort of ideal dream that's up in the sky for someone else, or some day when I'm, I don't know, perfect, or healed. But right now I feel very scared. And so that's their energy. It's like, how do I go from this energy of being guarded, held back, full of baggage, to this version of me that you're wanting me to be? It's like putting the cart before the horse. This person can't just sort of go there. And so they do feel like, they're not in a position here to give to you what you want. And the more they do this, it sort of magnifies this energy. Okay, so this is why energy and these connections are very built on energy, because it's like energy can support other energy, or it could enforce certain energy. And if this person feels already pressure and need to protect themselves, it's like the more pressure and the more they feel they need to protect themselves because of, I don't know, like again, a dependency or a transaction or a need for something from this person. It's like, somebody's like on you about something, needing something. It's like, the more I'm going to guard myself. So this is why when we surrender and loosen our grips, it's like that the other energy can sort of wander and learn and sort of uncover certain things about themselves. But when there's a lot of pressure or chasing or dependency, it's like, I'm really going to guard myself here from this scary thing, and it's not because I don't want it, I feel it, but it's very intense here. And so it's very energetically charged, this connection here. Okay. And so the more intense you are, the more you're sort of focused on a transactional need and dependency of this person for a commitment, or what they're going to do transactionally for me and the vision I have and all of this stuff. And it's on this person. And if it's not, then they're not coming correctly. I'm just moving forward. Then it's like, okay, when it's on them, it's focused. When you're putting it in a different direction, they're going to definitely feel the loss here. And they're definitely going to have to do something about this, because this is something that's not going to go away. It's going to haunt them until they learn the lessons here. And they're going to have to push themselves beyond the Ace of Wands. However, this is the trap, because if this person comes forward, we might think, okay, now I can sort of put my energy back on this person, and we might put pressure on the Seven Cups. And then what happens? They're not ready. They're just sort of keep coming. And this is how we get trapped in cycles, because there needs to be the patience, which the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse means there was an absence of the patience. Like if we're wanting this lesson and this work to be done, what does patience look like? It doesn't mean settling. It doesn't mean putting up with less than what we want and all of that stuff, but how to find the balance in this without being dependent and transactional and working through the pain and abandonment is all the things that the Seven of Pentacles in the upright would show. And so we can't be on an all or nothing. Come correctly or don't, or I'm coming to another relationship because you're not doing the thing, So I could go on about that, but I'm not going to sort of dive into that whole energy because I always do in my readings. But now let's get on to the other person here. Okay, from the first reading we did, the back end of that reading, if you resonated with that being your person, okay, I'm getting a little bit more here about your person. Your person was in a stage of surrender here, okay? And I do feel like what it's showing here is, I feel like this person feels held by a situation or circumstance that they're depending on financially, is what it feels like. okay, or like their logistics, maybe their housing or where they live or who pays their bill, or I don't know, there's something here that they feel not in a position resourcefully to give to you in a way here that they're wanting. And so they feel your love. They understand the depths of this connection. Okay. And I feel like this person is wanting to do something here, but I feel like what they're really trying to figure out what they can do, because I think they're putting a lot of weight on seeing this in the 3D and saying, well, it sort of is what it is. And if I don't have money, or if I'm geographically far from you, or if I'm under the thumb of some person who I'm depending on financially, or they're depending on me financially here, this is why I'm sort of stuck here and incapable of sort of taking a leap with you. And this does feel to be, it could be like a soulmate of theirs. Okay, so maybe a marriage. This could be a sister, a brother. I do see the Queen of Wands here, but it's more of like someone who might depend on this person financially, a family member, a mother of their child. It could be their childhood home that they're sort of dependent on. And it's like, I can't explore outside of this, and I really want to. And I know that our relationship is here, ready to explore the future with you. And I really have a lot of desire and passion to do so. I have a lot of love for you. And it's like, I feel sad that I can't figure out how I'm going to break free, or how I can do something here that will allow us to move this forward. And so I dream about you. I have a fantasy about what we could build and what this could look like, in the future here. And so I feel like if you were to ask this person, there's like a desire and a vision of a future that will happen one day. And I'm sad that it can't be now. And I'm sad because I believe in a lack story of something that I can't give right now, that I'm missing. And in order to have you and experience you, I need this thing. I need more money, or I need to be beside you, or I need to do this. And that would mean I'd have to deal with this situation here of this person depending on me, or me depending on this person, or whatever this is, family situation or something like this. And so I feel very stuck here to this thing. And so it does feel like this person might feel to you like they're held back from moving forward, and this would be why. And you're right. It's like, I don't think they're being sort of withholding so much as it is why I cannot move forward. And I really want to, and I feel saddened by this. It's like I'm not in a position to have what I need, or think I need, in order to pull the trigger here with you, even though this person does feel like you're their person. It feels very much like a dream of what can be one day when I have my ducks in a row and I can move forward with you. Yeah, but I can't right now. And it's like the vision doesn't have like a plan so much yet, because I feel like it's just open-ended here. And this person would have to sort of do all the groundwork. And they feel like the groundwork would require some form of investment here. And they're not sure how they would, I don't know, get this investment going in order to pull the trigger to move forward and take things to the next level with you. Okay. And so I think what you're seeing, because it is a little flipped here, is like, it doesn't feel like we're walking down that path just yet. And you might feel very tied to this person. And you might feel that this person, again, is very sort of held back, or really like dependent on another part of their world, or that someone is dependent on them. And this is the reason they're incapable of saying, let's do this thing. Okay. But you do feel that this person is pulled to your energy for sure. And that there is a desire here, but again, like, where does it go? It's not sustaining. And it might just sort of be an experience that doesn't really take things to the next level. And then it might leave you feeling sort of like looking at what is not happening, again, lack, like it's not happening. So let's dive into this energy a little bit more. Now apply it to your situation, okay, because I know there were two sort of channels coming through here. Thank you, Spirit, for that. Let's just dive into the energy here. I'm going to read the energy, and so just apply it to the situation so I don't confuse things. But what is it that pile number one's person on their mind is feeling, and why? For pile number one. One more. Pile number one's person, their feelings and why. Okay. Suppression of a star being by hands unworthy. Again, remember I was talking about some form of oppressive energy that's sort of keeping this person feeling very stuck. And look at the tear coming from like your person feeling very stuck here, and then this tear. Okay, so this energy that I'm reading here, it doesn't make this person feel happy, but it's a belief in scarcity and what they don't have and what they're not capable of doing. And I do feel they're under a set of circumstances, and I do feel it feels like a person. This person controls me, or I must be in a situation in which there's people involved or a person involved, a family member or something like this. Okay, and because of this, it holds me in place, and I'm saddened by it, and it's controlling my future. It's controlling my what I want for me, and what they want is this connection. There's a desire and a wish to have a future here that's in line with what they want, but it's like I feel held hostage. I feel stuck. I feel oppressed by this circumstance and situation or these people. And Spirit is talking about this experience being something for this person to wake up, because the reality is always that our circumstance could never really control us. And so this awakening with all these lightning bolts is a realization of the truth of their power, okay, of what they can do, and healing certain things this person's needing to heal about themselves, beliefs about what they can and cannot do. You're feeling controlled by a set of circumstances, and then working through their lack beliefs. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, puppets. So they're controlled by, look at the star head. Okay, so star is Aquarius energy, so there might be some strong Aquarius, but the star energy is all about our wishes, our vision, and sometimes, a star is like so far away and we just dream of something, but it seems distant. I don't know how I would ever get there. There's no sort of practical plan of action, and it could just feel like my hands are tied, and you're like a dream vision of something that's, like a fantasy here. And so this connection is very healing for this person. This person would have to really work through their understanding of feeling stuck or oppressed by circumstance or situation. For some of you guys, because the Magician, it could be that this person is very much trying to control narrative, like they want this connection, specifically for the very first part I did of the reading, because it's like, I want this. Okay, there's definitely a wish and a want. There's an intuitive knowing of something here, but there's a need to heal what is making them sort of control a narrative. And so what's the opposite of that is surrender, allowing the universe to guide us and to trust and to leave sort of the baggage of the past that's weighing us down, the situation or circumstance or the thing we experience. And this energy is sitting like a baby, in fetal position, which is really giving me like 6 cups energy when we talk about an experience of childhood that sort of leaves us traumatized. And so there could be abandonment here, because wherever this trauma happened, I'm calling it a trauma, whatever, an experience that stunted our growth emotionally. I feel like there's a stunting of this person, that this connection is making them heal or see. Okay, but the Spirit can only bring forward your catalyzation, meaning like your energy to trigger this person into healing, into reality. And this person, as long as they control and try to manipulate to protect themselves because they're still stunted here. They haven't healed the thing. And so they need to surrender. They need to examine this belief. Okay. And I feel like the intuition is really talking to this person very loud about this connection. And so when the intuition gets loud and the inner knowing here, it confronts this thing that is sort of an illusion here of what has happened, but it's not really needing to be controlled. It's needing to be flushed through and worked through so that we can free ourselves and cut the strings. Okay, so I'm feeling Aquarius, I'm feeling Pisces. Yeah, and also Virgo and Gemini energy just from the 1 here. And so there's a new opportunity that requires a change in perspective with the 12. Okay, Hangman, because this person's understanding is the thing that keeps them in lack mindset. Okay, it's my understanding of what I don't have or what's controlling me and what I need to control and feeling hostage that I need to heal, and I need to listen to my intuition. I need to go after what it is that I want here. Yes. All right, and then gifts from the past. Like I said, soul contracts, being guided by spirits, being shown which direction they're meant to go. So for all of you guys, I do feel like this person feels like you're a blessing for sure, okay, from the spirits. This is like giving me the ace in the tarot, which is a hand from the clouds. And the hand from the clouds is spirit coming through out of nowhere with a blessing of an offering of a new beginning to direct this person into a different direction. Okay, but see how there's like all the different sort of directions we can go, because spirit doesn't sort of make us go down anywhere. We get awakened to see what options and choices we have. And sometimes when we're in the operation of protective mode or still sort of stunted here, we only see one sort of way. We don't see all ways. But when we can see all ways, it's a conscious choice. Let's just choose. Okay, so wind, I'm feeling a lot of that's air energy. It's really leaning on the Aquarius still here, okay, which is like them having to sort of shake up and wake up from their current way of thinking in order for them to take this blessing to move forward here and have some form of awakening with this sun, okay, and sun's also divine masculine, which would mean what? Coming into divine masculine energy, it would be a balanced masculine wouldn't feel like a set of circumstances is going to control what he can and cannot do. A balanced masculine is going to be able to understand their I am power. Okay, so there's something about an awakening, a realization, and a healing in order to see the truth. And once we can see differently, we start to think differently. And once we think differently, we can see different sort of ways to go. Because this connection, whichever one you resonate with, is stuck in a non-movement way towards all potential, because the potential for this connection is there. But if we have scarcity and lack and looking at what we don't have, and we get completely tangled in knots here, thinking that something's true about our oppressive situation or circumstance, then we stay stuck. And Spirit says we're never stuck. Never, never, never. Okay, the illusion here is that we have strings tied to something that keeps us feeling hostage. It's just a lie. It's not true. Okay, so let's pull some of these. Spirit, thank you for this message. Can we take a look at, I just heard duck, like D-U-C-K, a duck. So a duck swims in the water, surface of the water. I don't know if this person, like has a difficult time sort of immersing themselves deep in their emotions to sort of have to overcome certain things. Okay, and a duck, how they say like water off a duck's back. I don't know, something about duck here, but we'll see. Spirit, can we take a look at pile number 1's person's feelings and why? Deeper look at pile 1's person's feelings and why. Love, for sure. We already felt that from the 6 of Cups and the Lovers. Okay, this is, at the end of the day, this lesson that the universe is bringing you two together, no matter how painful or stuck or challenging or confusing, it's all about opening the heart space, okay? It's not about how many babies we have or where we're going to live or any of this. It's like, how can I really connect to my heart space and love in order for me to overcome and see certain things that control me in this 3D world that aren't true, okay? And so this is all about opening heart space, and your love and their love for you and this connection is the only thing that's going to sort of navigate through and overcome this thing and heal this thing, whatever this thing is. Okay, rest. So 4 swords. So upon reflection, getting centered, getting balanced. And I do feel like it is giving me like a period of pausing and reflecting and need to heal the heart and this sort of a thing. Okay, and if you resonate with this person who is in a situation where they feel, I don't know, like their circumstances sort of dictating what they can and cannot do, it's like the longer they sit there in this position of non-movement, the more they sit with their love for you, and it builds to a truth. And it shows them a direction which they're needing to go. So I am getting from spirit that this person will see at a certain point the heart cannot be silenced. That it's time to move, and it's not dependent on whatever the material thing here. Oh, I got a little dirty speck on my card. All right, let's see. Abundance, 10 Pentacles. Yeah, it's like, what can I build in the 3D? Okay, because I think for a lot of you guys with that 10 Pentacles in the reverse, it's like we want to have a future here that we can create of a 10 Pentacle that can stand the test of time, a commitment, a family, a thing in the 3D. But we need to overcome whatever we are here. So stop, and then energy. Ace of Wands with this energy. And the stop is the 4 Pentacle, or yeah, it's a 4 Pentacle, but it's also giving me the 4 of Cups energy that was in the reverse, because I feel like the universe says we have to align ourselves, and that this connection gets stunted or stopped or at rest. But when we have to integrate certain understandings and lessons of the heart, and before the build can happen. Okay. And so this is very much about energy. It's like the energy is going to dictate where this connection is sort of at, and how the energy sits in this connection. It will determine whether it's stuck or flowing. Okay. And the more we're in our hearts and out of material sort of clinging to the material outcome, okay, the more this thing can sort of flow. And so this is what I feel. There's like heart on one side and material on the other. And it's like, are we balanced? If we're too focused on just the material and what's in front of me transactional, we're not really listening to the heart here, the heart story, or the healing of the heart. And if we're too much sort of in this fantasy of the heart, things could get stuck here, because it's like, well, oh, what are we building in the 3D? The 3D is here where I live. And so there has to be a balance here, okay, which takes integration. But I feel like every time it's stuck, Spirit says there's a regulation, there's a balance, there's an integration. So if we're in a period of separation, if we're in a period of no contact, if this thing just feels like this person isn't moving, Spirit's saying they're integrating, finding balance between heart and the 3D, and the energy is getting recalibrated here, okay, so that this person can see, okay, because they can't move when they don't see. When the eyes are closed, okay, now this is a metaphor, of course. When the eyes are closed, we still sort of feel and know. But I feel like when the eyes are closed, like we can't see in front of us to move, right? And so I feel like anytime there's an integration of some sort of lesson, they don't move, it feels stuck, their eyes are sort of closed here. And so there's a need to have patience here, okay? But I do feel like this is very much about energy. And so let's see, Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 1 regarding the person they came here about and their feelings and why they feel the way they feel. So we have orphaned, this sort of this 5 Pentacle energy of lack, without, abandonment. And so either way, like this person feels like without you, they feel alone here, you know, but it's like they're creating this sort of understanding themselves. It's like a catch-22. If we believe in lack, if we believe we're without, we experience the lack and without. And so you can't be in this person's world if they're under this mindset or this belief of the illusion that they're controlled by a set of circumstances. And so they feel without you. They feel saddened here. Okay, there's also abandonment wounds, like I said, for some of you guys that are needing to be healed and seen. And you might even feel like alone or abandoned by this person, which is something you'd probably have to obviously see and heal as well, because this could go both ways, you know? It's like, am I seeing just the transaction here or lack of what it is that I'm wanting this person to do or be? And then I feel stuck in this lack mindset rather than opening my heart space here to a deeper truth. It has nothing to do with the 3D. Okay, time to go. So some of you guys, like I said, are tired and want to just move forward now. And that's what's needed to break free from this Queen of Pentacle energy that I said you were dependent on this person's, how they're showing up in the material realm. And until you break free and move forward, then you're sort of putting the pressure on this person. And for others of you guys with the back end of the reading, was it's time for this person to go out of this trapped energy that they think they need to be in, or someone's controlling them financially, or that they have to give financially. It's like, break free. They're not stuck there. They don't have to stay there. They're not missing any sort of thing that they think they're missing. That's just an illusion of scarcity. So time for them to go. And I do feel like, because we were feeling your person surrendering, they're transitioning. They're coming towards you energetically. It is happening, but they're not quite there at the door yet. That's the new beginning. Okay, but this connection is guiding this person out of that situation, circumstance, towards a new beginning and happiness for them. Because if they stay where they're at, they feel lost without you, or abandoned without you, or stuck without you. It feels cold. And it's like, no, my heart's been awakened. And the longer I sit here with my heart and my feelings, it's like I want to be called towards you to build and commit to the future with you. Yeah, I feel very blessed to be with you. And like I said, regardless of which story you resonate with, this person, whoever your person you came about, does feel very blessed for you, or whether they're committing, not committing, showing up or not. Okay, your energy feels very blessed to this person. 22 is a master number. It's all about divinely guided relationships. Okay, all this intuitive energy we're getting with the eyes here. I feel your person is intuitively guided, as you are, towards healing, whatever they're needing to heal. And this connection is very guided and blessed. Okay. Building blocks. There's that 10 pentacle. And what Spirit's talking about is this 10 pentacle. Okay. These building blocks would require a 7 pentacle, because we can't just wake up with a 10 pentacle. It takes effort, energy to build, it's one thing sort of at a time to build the structure, the stability, and the commitment. It's built over time, not overnight. And so we can't expect major shifts and changes to be built already. So Spirit's saying it will take time. Of course, you have free will. You don't have to sit there building this thing, but this is what this lesson of love is, It's like, if we want to build something here in the 3D, it's going to take commitment and time to get it stable and secure. But it is something that can build for sure over time. Okay, but we have to put an end to certain things, ways of being and beliefs, but very guided. Okay, but it is being developed here. So pile number 1, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. It seemed like there was a lot of layers here, okay, for a lot of you guys. So a lot of you guys might resonate with this being your pile. But anyway, I will see you guys at the next one. All right, bye-bye. Pile 1, I was about to do pile 2, but there was something else coming through here. Okay, because I didn't feel like I sort of did it justice. And it could resonate for some of you guys. Okay, well, 1, if you resonate with, I know it's so confusing, but the energy of your person in the first pile, in the first half, okay, like the first half, but the back end, it was someone definitely surrendering to your love here, okay, and working through some sort of situation. And your energy, actually, I didn't channel strongly, but you could channel, or you could resonate with you sort of maybe feeling stuck in some sort of situation. Some of you guys could definitely be married. It feels to me like maybe you have to give somehow to a situation where you can't be with this person as well. Okay, because that person, your person's energy, had an Ace of Cups, it had a 10 of Wands in reverse. They're surrendering to this connection. And maybe you feel saddened by a set of circumstances that you're in, because I was feeling the Orphaned card and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse and the 5 Pentacles sort of coming from your energy in regards to maybe your set of circumstances. Okay, and this person could want to sort of connect with you in a way, and I do feel they're transitioning over to you, but maybe you feel sort of like you've been alone for some time or feeling stuck in your circumstance, unable to sort of be with this person for whatever reason. Okay, so that was coming through as your energy in the back end. Okay, although I didn't really sort of dig into that one too much. But if you are feeling like stuck to a set of circumstances, it could be that your person senses, your position and is waiting for you to sort of work through that, although energetically they are moving towards you. Okay, so I just wanted to let that out, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye-bye. Pile number 2, you guys picked the Osiris Tarot, and I'm going to move the box because it's humongous. Actually, it might fit right here. Sorry, I like to start the box as I do the reading because that's what I do. All right, so we're looking at the person that you came here about and their feelings for you currently and why they feel the way they feel. Okay, but before we dive into their energy, we will ask Spirit about your energy so that you know whether this is your pile or not. Okay, so we'll ask about how you're feeling or how you'll know that this is your pile. And like I always mention, it could come reversed. So keep an open mind because we could be tapping into your person's energy in the front and yours in the back. Okay, so let's ask Spirit for this message for you guys, beautiful angels. Now, if you guys are interested in a private reading, I am offering 35% off right now till the end of March. If you enter in the code SUNSHINE35, that's SUNSHINE 35, you save 35% off all private readings, all extended readings, all jewelry, prairievintagejewelry.com, and I'll include that information below. All right, so let's ask Spirit for a clear and concise message regarding pile 2, the person they came here about, and how will pile 1 know that this is indeed their pile? How are they currently feeling about the person they came here about in this connection? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of this connection. Please protect me and the viewer and this connection as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of this connection. Thank you, Spirit. Please help me to channel in a way that pile 2 will understand. Here, Spirit. Spirit says to leave it there. All right. One more. And we'll pull the oracles for your person's feelings, okay? But we'll just dive into this energy and see how you're feeling here. Queen of Swords. You're feeling Queen of Swords. All right, so we have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And under that, we have the Three of Wands in reverse. All right. And we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. We have the Empress in the reverse. Taurus, Libra. Oops, that's clarified by the Ten of Wands. Okay. And then we have the Three of Pentacles. And we have the King of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. So we have counterparts here, or both earth signs with the Queen and King of Pentacles. Okay, and then we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. Okay, there's lots of messages coming through already, and then Judgment under that in the reverse. Let me tap into this energy, okay, and just sort of stick around because we could get a lot of different energy that sort of pulls through here that might resonate with your story. Okay, there's so much energy, different things, messages. Not all of it's going to be true to your story, okay? But there might be something here, and I don't like throwing shit at the wall, seeing what sticks, but there is so many specifics that do come through. Some of you guys are married, okay? Or it could be that this person is married, or you've been married to this person. There seems to be some sort of energy like this here, okay? One or either of you or both of you, okay, could be married here. It doesn't have to be, like I said. Okay, some of you guys might have met at work or worked together. That's coming through for some of you guys. Some of you guys could be in a third party because I am feeling that there's a lot of people here. And I usually read queens and kings as people and empress as divine feminine energy here, okay? So, but it doesn't have to be, but it could just be two aspects of one person here that I'm about to channel here, okay? Because that's definitely a high probability as well. Okay, but take that as sort of confirmation that this might be your reading here. So, and you could flip the energy. So how I'm going to read this, I feel like you're in a position here where you're not seeing where this graduation of this connection can go. Okay, and you're wanting to have clarity, of course, in your direction. And I feel like you might feel like this connection isn't going anywhere, or you're not seeing or understanding where it can go. I feel like there is a strong desire to work with this person in the 3D. Okay, for some of you guys, like I said, you might know each other from work or working together or maybe collaborating together. There could be a desire to want to collaborate together, or build something, obviously in the 3D, like a relationship. But more than that, maybe this is someone who creatively, is someone you could envision like building some form of an empire with, or just working with them to create a business or something like this. I feel like you're definitely on a path of self-love, healing certain aspects of yourself so that you can be confident in your own energy to build a future that you want. At the end of the day, that's what this connection is showing you. And I do feel like you're wanting to find your person to build a future with, as most people who are looking for a connection want, a partner in this sort of a thing. Okay, but you might have a very sort of fixed idea on how this should sort of look like, okay? And it could be something that might be impacting your own value here, because I do feel like you might feel unappreciated or seen by this person in some regard here. And I do feel like it's been very stressful for you. There's a lot of anxiety or anticipation about, will this person show up to work with me, to be reliable, to be, I don't know, the father of my child or my husband, or someone that does want to build with me, someone that could secure a future with me. There's a lot of this sort of an energy. That's the heaviness, because I feel like what Spirit is saying is we're needing to sort of stand in our own energy first before stepping into sort of a union or partnership here in the 3D. And almost like that, whether this person would be ready or not ready, what I'm seeing here is sort of irrelevant, and we might say, well, no, because if they were ready, then things would just work and smooth, but we wouldn't heal anything. So what Spirit is almost saying is that this person's energy doesn't really sort of matter, okay, at this point in time, because the big sort of thing that we're having to overcome is surrendering to the understanding of our own power, which really is creating a world of sustainability from ourselves without needing someone else or something to sort of prop us up in some way, and seeing our own value here. And so I feel like for this pile, we still haven't fully surrendered. Okay, there seems to be a lot of anxiety, worry, and heaviness here about it being shown love by this person. You don't feel appreciated or seen, and the only way they're going to show and appreciate you is through their material investment. It's like, in the material investment, then I'll know that they love me, then I'll know that I'm valued, then I know that they care, then I know that, and that's absolutely backwards, because love has absolutely nothing to do with that. We could definitely feel a whole lot of love and sit with true feelings of love, and it's not building anything in the 3D. Okay, and so once we see that, it doesn't mean we have to accept that. It means understand that that is how true unconditional love works. And then things will flow, because then we accept things as they sort of are in order to manifest and change and shift, rather than gripping. Because I feel like there's a gripping and a carrying of some understanding of what they need to do and how it needs to go. Okay, but I feel like we're still not understanding about self-love, self-worth, and I feel like how you feel, okay, because this is how you'll know your power. It's like you feel not appreciated by this person. You might feel almost like, how they'll show me value is by committing and agreeing to work with me on this thing, whatever this build of something is, and it's like, how dare they sort of leave me on my own to I don't know, do something here that I feel they're not showing up for. And you might have a lot of energy right now, like regarding an opinion about this person. Like, it's like almost like conflicting, because one part of you I do feel wants to build and work with this person for sure. Okay. And if they were to show up and do this, I think that would be your first choice. But another part of you is like, I just want to give up and not even deal with this person at all, because they've left me on my own. I'm doing it all by myself. I'm da da da. And we could go on and on and on about the scarcity understanding and story. And so I feel like we're learning balance. I feel like you're going through a lessons of sorts that Spirit wants you to understand. The biggest one is about self-love. Self-worth does not come from whether someone shows up or not. And love has absolutely nothing to do with whether someone's transactional or not. Love has nothing to do with someone commits or not. Love has absolutely nothing to do with whether somebody says, I'll work with you or I'll build with you. And so I feel like Spirit says when we get very anxious, when we sort of feel the burdens and the stress of an experience that pushes us towards suffering, stress, anxiety up in our head, we have no choice but to see the light and the truth. And the only way that we could see the truth, okay, like I said, is through that period of suffering, or like we have no way out. And I feel like this is what's happening here. And so we feel very burdened by the experience, and we'd rather just not have the experience at all. And Spirit says, well, then we wouldn't see the truth. And the truth is that you are a beautiful Empress who doesn't know your value. That's the truth, that you're whole and complete, that you're already love, that love doesn't need to be extended to you by another in order for you to then feel appreciated. And I don't think you see this or understand this. And so there's a very heavy emphasis on working on self-love, self-value. Okay. And I feel like your energy right now is actually not going towards building yourself up and your understanding of yourself and loving yourself and valuing yourself and seeing that from that aspect, but leaning in or doubling down on what this person is doing or not doing, showing up, not showing up, and whether you can rely on them or not, and how they abandoned you or not, or whether they're messaging you or not, or all of this sort of stuff. And as long as you're there, you sort of have a mixed understanding, and you're carrying the burden of non-surrender here, and it won't move. And Spirit says this doesn't move, not because this person doesn't want to move. It's because the lessons of the universe here is one of, for you, of knowing self-worth and self-value. And so there's a need to surrender here because you're not learning the lesson. So this feels very, if you want to call it karmic, go ahead. It's a lesson that the universe is delivering with this person's energy. It could be any person at all, what Spirit's kind of putting here. Okay, of course, Spirit picks this person because this person's triggering some sort of realization upon you. So it had to be sort of this person, but regardless, it's the triggering of the experience that's going to make you see the truth. And once you see the truth, then we can move forward with whatever is next, which Spirit would know whatever is next. It could very well be that this person is meant for you, that you're meant to create something in this world with this person, but you won't be able to create something with this person at all until we get out of the mind. Okay, mind, ego, devil, whatever you want to call it, shadow, scarcity. Okay, and we sort of come into our own energy of Divine Empress, which you absolutely are. And so I feel Spirit's message here is about surrendering, okay? But I feel you feel very disappointed with someone here who just isn't putting the effort, showing up, and they might be completely focused on their own world. I don't know if they're focused on work. I don't know if they're just energetically not showing up at all for some time, and it's left you feeling a lot of anxiety about where will this go and what will they do, and do they want to put effort here with me and show up? Okay, and so some of you guys might be wanting answers from this person. Some of you guys might just be trying to get out of your own mind here, but it's still in the mind here, still under some sort of understanding. That might not necessarily be true. And you might just be accepting the fact that it's not moving this way, but you're still not seeing the great truth because we're still focused on what this person has done and not done, and accepting that part, that we're not really seeing the deeper lesson. And the deeper lesson, again, is the self. Okay, regardless if you're masculine or feminine, it's like self-love. Abundance doesn't come from what someone's doing or not doing, and we don't have to carry that understanding or that burden, because that's the heaviness that needs to fall away or break away, or it's the surrendering. Okay, so let's take a look at how your person, if you resonate with that, of course, let's take a look at how your person is feeling currently right here, right now about you, and why. Okay, so for this pile, I really feel like it needs to be a heavy focus on self. regardless of where this person's at or whatever, because this might fluctuate your energy up, down, and it's still pointed towards the wrong sort of direction. Now, it's never wrong because everyone's journey is going to reach a certain point where you're going to see the light. Okay, so wow, look at this tower falling. I'd be surprised if we get a tower. So we're going to be focused on this person externally with the energy pointed towards this rather than the pointing towards self, okay, which the 8 Pentacles would be working on our own self-love, because the Empress in the reverse, working on finding our own value, working on seeing that we're whole and complete, okay, in our own world. So let's see, how is pile number 2's person feeling currently, and why? About pile number 2 specifically, feelings for pile number 2's person, spirit. Thank you so much. These cards feel very stiff. All right, and then we'll get into the oracle. So we have 2 cups, beautiful, and we have 2 swords in the reverse. 2s are all about balance, duality, choices, okay, partnership, contrast, and polarity. So let's see. And we have the 2 of Wands, more 2s. 2, 2, 2. You guys might be seeing 22 is a master number. Okay. Peacemaker, diplomacy, healthy, energetic boundaries. We were seeing with the Queen of Swords. Okay, but boundaries, what does that mean? I always say, we might think boundaries means keeping people out when they don't come correctly. No, that's one aspect of boundary, but that's an unhealthy boundary because that's the trauma speaking. Okay, boundary is knowing how to work with people, not to be overstepped energetically and let how they feel about us and what they do dictate our energy. That's not a boundary. I feel upset now. I feel happy now. I feel this way. I feel that way. I feel 10 wands because of you. No, nobody can make us feel 10 wands. We have to know our own value. Okay, and so I feel like what Spirit's talking about here is you learning energetic boundaries so that you can see the lesson of the judgment before this connection can become a 2 cups. Feels very spiritual here. Okay, so 2 wands in the reverse. This card keeps flipping and flipping and flipping. Chariot. Okay, it keeps wanting to dance here. So I'm going to take that into consideration. We have Cancer energy. Chariot's all about success. Page of Cups in the reverse. The Star in the reverse. Aquarius energy. The Fool in the reverse. More Aquarius energy. 8 of Cups in the reverse. And we have the King of Swords in the reverse. And Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And then we have the 7 of Cups. Okay, they're not all in the reverse, I promise you. But let's dive into this energy here. How your person's feeling and why. Let's see under 2 swords reverse, Justice in the reverse. Something feels very, very karmic here. I don't know why there's so many reversals. Okay, this is a very interesting energy. Okay, and I find it's interesting the way Spirit is delivering this here. Because there seems to be something that's hidden from you, removed from you, like this by design for a reason. Because I think it's really irrelevant how this person feels. Because I think what you're going to experience from the universe, from them, from whatever you're experiencing will always be the same thing. Because Spirit wants you to see that thing, okay? That message comes through very strong. However, I will channel what this person is going on here, but something's a little bit fishy here. Your person's fucking off, doing their own thing. You're right. And you can say, well, how could that be? I know intuitively this, that, and the other. Why? Because there's something here that needs to happen first with your energy. Okay, there's something destined here that definitely needs to happen here. It has to. Okay, it's destined. Of course, we have free will to do what we want, but there's certain things that the universe is putting in front of us. We can run and avoid and chase and do whatever we need to do until we surrender. This person is working with the universe right now in doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, running away from you. And we don't like this answer, you know? And why is like, it leaves you feeling empty-handed here, because I feel like you're knowing that there's something more in you, be correct, something destined. Like I said, the universe is involved for sure. And it's like, well, why can't we just sort of come together here? The feelings are definitely there. How does your person feel? They feel love for you. They're being guided by spirits, however they are, for whatever reasons, to focus on other things. And that this connection seems like something that they can't experience just yet. And they'd be right, and they can't, because you have lessons that you need to see and know. So they're dealing with part of their world right now. And I don't think they're emotionally sort of fulfilled in that regard either, but it's not time for them to move forward. The major arcana in this spread says the universe will tell this person when you're ready. And when you're ready, they can come forward to experience you. But right now, all they're giving you is a whole lot of I don't knows. And there's lots of confusion here because they're obviously not completely sort of knowing, like what spirit is doing and acting through them. They just know what they're doing, like through themselves. And so there's a lot of uncertainty about why they're doing what they're doing. They can't really sort of commit to you right now. Their future seems not clear. I feel like this feels to me like somebody who is still oblivious, oblivious to connecting with spirit, themselves, and the next part of their life, and they could be sort of wandering this energy for some time until the green light says, okay, pile 2 has reached some milestone of understanding, and now it's your turn to sort of deal with your situation of emotional dissatisfaction. Wherever they're at, I don't feel is filled with love. I feel this person hasn't loved, okay? And when I say love, it's like truly loved from the heart space. I feel this person is engaged in their world, sort of feels dry. It feels like this person is still needs to learn the lessons of love here. I feel like this person cannot choose this connection, no matter if they wanted to or don't, or how they feel or whatever. They can't. Spirit has the wheel here, and they can't see what they can't see. And this person cannot see the option here of this connection. It's too clouded by whatever's going on, It's not even an option for them as far as they're concerned. It's because they're still sort of asleep, focused on working with the universe in some other part of their world, And until that part is sort of, work through in a way here that they reach some sort of milestone themselves. And then the next page opens up, and that would be, what am I destined to experience in my life here? Let me listen to spirit. Let me be guided by spirit, which could definitely be this connection. And so they wander here until you find your path, because this connection does feel very intertwined. And I do feel, since you're here, you're most likely leading the spiritual charge of this connection. And so when you balance, when you break free and learn about your divine empress energy, this person will have to wake up to the universe, wake up to the next part of whatever they're needing to sort of leave behind here, because it's not emotionally fulfilling, and follow the universe towards this lesson, okay, which is one of love, one of balance, one of union. But right now, I feel your person's oblivious. I feel your person is confused. I feel your person doesn't know anything. No. And if you ask them, they're going to get a big fat, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see. I don't, whatever. Spirit's sort of just telling me, and it feels right, feels right because I don't question it. It's what I've always done. It's what I've always known. And so this feels very much like an automaton. I do what I always did and get what I always get. And I don't know any different. And I don't know that I'm what I don't know. And here I'm not experiencing love. Here it's very dry. Here it's emotionally draining. Here it just is numb. Here is no nothing. It's not this person's path for sure. It's not their destiny. It's not where they're supposed to be guided for their future, but it's definitely where they're experiencing for now, because they need to stay here as far as the universe is concerned, because of course the universe knows timing with everything. So there feels to be very strong divine timing, because remember, you got a lot of 2s, 22s, divinely guided relationships, which means 2 people have to sort of be in sync. And if you're completely out of whack, then this person is not ready yet. Okay, so not ready yet. And so you might feel like, well, it's unfair, or they're not, I don't know, they're not seeing, they're not understanding, they're not saying and doing what I will need them to do and say. That would be the reverse empress. They don't need to do or say anything. They don't owe you anything, but you feel it's unjust or it's not happening or it's not fair or something like this, And it's like, no, it's just exactly as the universe is guiding them. They're blind. They're doing the sleepy time. Okay. Page of Wands in reverse. So they're not exploring this connection, and they're not coming through here as someone who's even open to learn some new part, It's like it feels very like old energy in which we're just doing the same thing. We're not on the path yet because we haven't been awakened just yet. And we're sort of blocking our own innocence here from coming online, from doing things differently. So I don't know. I even feel like you might be in a period of no contact with this person. And it's like this by design. This person isn't going to just come and communicate with you anything until Spirit says, okay, now's the perfect time for you. You've seen what you need to do for the next phase or the next step in communication. So I do feel for this, it's like this person is very removed. Communicative, it's not happening, Any communication doesn't seem to be happening here. This person could have to start from scratch here when it's their time. And it's not their time just yet. This isn't a choice of their own. There's nothing here about them choosing. Okay, this choice has to be conscious. This is just a doing because I'm asleep and I'm unconscious and I'm just sort of doing what I always did. And I don't know what they're doing. For all of you guys, it's different, They could be in another relationship for sure, but there's no love there. It's not stretching them. It's not guided towards their purpose. But of course, they were supposed to experience it because everything we experience is a part of our lesson. So let's see. Spirit, pile number 2's person. What are they feeling and why? Okay, there isn't even a why so much as I'm telling you that they couldn't tell you why they're doing this. This is like when we're unconscious, we just act. There's no purpose or intent to this whole thing. It's like, I'm just doing this because this is what I know and this is what I do. I don't even question it. Why are you questioning it, Until we see the light and go, oh, you mean I do have a choice? You mean I am unhappy here? You mean there is an awakening here? There is a potential that I could experience. Yeah, this is an awakening of the intuition with magic. It feels very spiritual here, okay? It is. It's not a nothing. It's not just a nothing connection. But I feel like it's stuck somewhere with you is what I really feel. Okay, so we have magic. Yeah, creativity. Look at all this purple. Okay, strong Pisces energy. So the spiritual energy is there. It feels very much like a telepathic connection. It's all happening sort of in the 5D, and we're having to really align with that energy before we can sort of do anything in the 3D. Happiness. So like I said, your person is sort of an autopilot. Okay, and when the 5D sort of gets worked upon and connected to, this person is going to want to find a form of happiness for themselves. They're not going to want to be stuck in emotionally dry sort of situations here. Confidence. So I feel like your person is oblivious and is feeling okay with whatever they're doing here. I don't feel they feel there's a loss. I don't feel that they feel they should be doing anything different. They're confident in what they're doing because they don't know any different. Okay, and this is happiness as they know it. I mean, they're not depressed. They're not thinking that they're missing out or lacking anything. Okay, but I don't think they have the vision or the understanding or the awakening that comes yet. And this is what this is about. It's like an awakening to spirit, towards our purpose that gets catalyzed and driven from an experience. Okay, and so you're energetically sort of driving this whole thing. Let's see, Spirit, clear and concise message for pile number 2 regarding how does their person feel and why. Current feelings and why. Someone soon, 43. So 4 and 3 is 7, which is Chariot energy. So someone soon, like they're not there yet. They're moving, working with the universe. I mean, soon is relative, of course, because there's no such thing as time. Okay, but soon is all relative to how quickly can you sort of lean into your Empress energy. Yeah, Empress energy, Fire Mother, knowing her self-worth. Okay, and sometimes the Fire Mother, it needs to learn about boundaries because the mother sometimes does things for the child. Okay, I gotta read this to you actually because it's a beautiful card where she Has to learn about her own self-love, valuing herself so that she's not sort of in a position here that leaves her empty-handed. Okay, so Fire Mother. The phoenix curls her many colors tenderly around her eggs. Having survived a fiery death, she is reborn again and again. Her ability to give her love and her colors never leaves her. In fact, her ability to live through death and rebirth allows her to appreciate the things she loves ever more deeply. She is a symbol to us that from death will always come life. The Fire Mother has the wisdom of knowing nothing truly belongs to her and that everything is temporary. She loves and cares for her eggs as if there is no tomorrow. If you have experienced difficulties in the past, it can become a habit to always be looking for the next tragedy or hurdle that might be put in your way. And before you know it, you're spending all of your time overcoming challenges. That's the 10 wands. Okay. You also have an option to spend your time and energy giving affection and love to that which you feel dear, such as people, projects, or ideas. You will never cause ill from giving love. So you're learning about unconditional love. Okay? Unconditional love about this person, unconditional love about yourself. Unconditional love is not based on transaction. That is the burden you're overcoming. Not shutting yourself out. And the Queen of Swords, like I said, has to learn about boundaries. And so she might be, you better do this, you better come correctly, or you need to say and do what I need to see and understand. It's like, no, that's all mental. This is nothing to do with mental. This is all spiritual. This is all about unconditional love. This is about where's your energy at and energetic boundaries. And then your person can lean into this energy and learn what they need to learn, because there's lessons for this person too. This is why they're drifting, floating, doing what they're doing. Okay? Yeah, dependency. So how do we need to beat that horse? Another 7 here. Okay, so we have 777. You might be seeing angel numbers. 77. Trust the fall. An adventure that arises from deep wisdom. That's the aces, or the Queen of Swords. Trust of life and trust of self. So that's the lesson. This is a self lesson. Okay, and when we're dependent, this is a lot to do with the material world, what someone's giving and doing, and that's the devilly chain. It keeps us to an understanding that is keeping us hostage here to something that doesn't free us. It's like my abundance comes from other, and that chains me to that belief. And when they don't feed me the apples, and I'm not getting the abundance and I don't have it. So I'm at the mercy of what this person does and doesn't do. That's untrue. And that's just the devilly chain that's keeping you here. No, you're free. You're not dependent on someone's coming and going and loving and not loving. Okay. I feel there's a lot of sadness here, a burden. I feel devil energy, Capricorn, and I'm Cancer from all the 7s. All right. But also Tower energy. And you had the Tower happening here with my stuff, because Tower is the deconstruction of the beliefs and the chains that are sort of holding us in place. So let's see. Spirit pile number 2 is person, feelings, and why. And why this came out here is because your person, like I said, the spirits didn't even want to say what your person was feeling and thinking, because it's irrelevant, because it could be completely into you, and spirit would remove them in this sort of dreamy state, not knowing and seeing. It's like a blindfold is on them, because spirit wants you to do this thing. Okay, and so it comes up here because spirit is saying this person will sense your energy. You guys are very tied spiritually. No doubt there's something 22 guided, both of you guys. So when you're dependent, when you're not in your Empress energy, when you don't know unconditional love, this person stays asleep. So this is where the energy is sort of hung up here, okay? Why? Hermit energy, 31 and 4. And then 19, flexible. Sun energy, divine masculine energy. 4 is also divine masculine energy. So we have strong divine masculine. Aries energy, Leo. And we have exchanging gifts, 27. The number 9, more Virgo. And with Hermit. And then we have orphaned with 5. Scarcity and lack. So, beautiful angel. What Spirit is talking about here is that all will be shown and seen, okay? We're still on the journey of the Queen of Swords, of wisdom and figuring out why things are happening sort of the way that they're happening. If you're questioning whether this person is a divine masculine for you, I do feel they're a divine masculine for a divine feminine, but the divine masculine cannot come online until the divine feminine connects to her divine feminine. Okay, so I do feel there's a need to learn about boundaries in a different way. It's not solid. It's not all or nothing. It's not 3D or not 3D. Okay, and I feel there's some sort of understanding that's very fixed about you, what you're seeing and how they're working and what they're doing and what they're saying. And Spirit is saying, no, we can't be transactional. We can't hold love hostage. We have to understand what true love feels like and let it flow, connect with the spiritual side, and then understand and connect it back to the 3D without an understanding of lack, scarcity, feeling abandoned, feeling lost, because I feel you feel abandoned by this person or left out, or that's all an illusion. That's transactional. That's loving in a way that we understand that isn't necessarily aligned with truth. It's not anyone's fault other than the fact that that's how we learn to love, and that's all we have to sort of offer here. And so there's something very strong about independence with the cat. Sorry, I know I'm delivering this kind of a little firm, okay? But I just want to deliver it the way I see it. The cat's all about independence, freedom. Okay, and so I feel like there's something about learning your own independence and freedom before you can exchange love with this person and then be available. And as long as we get hung up on the story, the 10 wand story, the lack mindset, I'm abandoned, it's still driven from the abandonment wound and the scarcity and lack beliefs. And this is what we're overcoming so that we're not in a position where we can't give love and receive love. Because giving love and receiving love is what this spiritual journey is all about. But it has to be unconditional love. Okay, love. I call it love because that is the true definition of love. Anything else is fear, control, scarcity, lack, transaction, and that's not what this is about. So all this pink is about self-love, self-worth, self-independence. And so I feel like, your person might be someone who is highly independent, who might seem very temperamental here, who might get very defensive if you come near this person, but it's not because of anything other than the spirit guiding this connection so that you can see your own true love and you're really being guided here. So you can learn about boundaries, self-love, and your own self-worth and your own independence and your own freedom. And you got to do the hermit's journey. Okay, now you don't got to do anything. You could sit and suffer here. You can chase this person. You could feel burdened. You could feel chained. You could feel lack. You could feel abandoned. You could feel left out. All you want and rejected. We could sit there forever and think it will eventually pass. And sometimes it does pass, but if it's very spiritual or something shown to you and it's a lesson karmically that we're needing to do the hermit's journey at some point in time, because something needs to be revealed to you, and that's about your own self-worth. Okay? And once you do this, then you'll see the truth. It will be revealed. This person's divine masculine energy can come online here, and they'll be guided by spirit. Okay? So there's no doubt you're feeling lack or abandoned or lost or alone. Okay? And you could feel this way because it is how you're feeling. But now we need to question, and we need to really dive into, why do I believe in the lack story when there's other truths? There's another greater truth here that exists. And I need to see and understand that. My own self-love, my own independent self that can value itself regardless of what someone's showing and doing. That's what I need to see and understand. Okay, and now I'm sort of more in a position here to roll with punches, and something can be born here. Okay, now I do feel for this group because I do feel very sort of not very happy about how you're feeling here, because this doesn't feel good. I don't feel you're feeling good at all. I want to see, okay, some sort of further guidance or something here that Spirit wants to deliver to you. Spirit, what does pile 2 need to know? They're challenged right now. They're feeling orphaned or abandoned or without, and they're putting a lot of value on this person's comings and goings. Oops, they have the guidance of the Hermit here, and to reveal the truth to them. But what do they need to know? Anything further that I've missed? Anything that will help them to see better or to release what they need to release here? 2 Pentacles, up and down. Okay, there's a need to find balance, maybe between our own emotions and our thoughts, and not to be swinging on a pendulum of someone else. So I feel like this person could swing your energy, and nobody should be able to swing our energy unless we're giving it weight. Okay, so the 8 of Cups. So there's a need to walk away from emotional disappointments. And maybe you feel like I don't have it in me, or I can't invest in something outside of this thing. And so we're still sort of sticking around here. Yeah, 3 Swords. We need to heal this belief and this pain. Okay, the only way is the Hermit. We can't heal 3 Swords by skirting around it. We have to go through it. And so this is why we have to sit through the sort of abandonment. It's all an illusion anyway. You're not abandoned, but the person cannot be in front of you, you getting what your ego wants in order for you to feel okay, because it don't heal the three swords. Healing means I have to be abandoned, left alone, sitting in the illusion of separation until I see the truth, that I'm not separate from this person. Only through the hermit will you see the truth. Separation is just an illusion. You're already connected to this person. There is no division. There's no them and you. There's just one source of consciousness. And I know it doesn't help when we're in this high level communication, but this is the sort of journey you're on. To see the great truth means to connect to your divine nature. You won't need anyone or anything. Then you've healed the greatest pain that we all sit with, which is an illusion of separation. This creates pain. It creates us feeling lack and loss and abandonment and rejection. And that is an illusion. You're seeing this truth. And that's the only way to heal it, is to sit with somebody who's rejecting us, unfortunately, until we can't sit there no more. And we have the choice, but if you'll be up, down, driven by whatever is going on there. Okay, there's the Empress. Exactly. Okay, beautiful angel. It's hard. It is, because we're all sort of under the illusion of separation, lack, and loss. And we all have to get there one way. There's one narrow path, and that's through experience, so that we can see the truth. The truth is you're whole and complete. The truth is that you're loved. You are love itself. When someone doesn't need to show you love or act in a certain way for you to then be loved and experience love. So be that in which you're wanting to experience. Give love, sit in love, understand your love nature, connect to your divine nature. Okay, be ready to give and receive love from the heart, not with conditions and not through the Queen of Swords sort of distorted. Okay, but the Queen of Swords and the light attribute, which is through an experience of pain and suffering and walking through the other side and seeing the truth. She now knows the truth. She knows her divine nature, and it has nothing to do with whether someone comes or goes, whether somebody's up or down, whether someone's investing or not investing. Nope. Okay, so Taurus, Libra energy, beautiful angel. This is your reading. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. All right, bye-bye. Hi, friends. You guys picked the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum, and we're looking at how your person is currently feeling about you and why. Okay, so first we'll dive into your energy so that you know that this is your pile, and we'll ask Spirit how you're feeling or seeing this connection. These cards are very stiff. Okay, so that you know whether this is your pile or not, and you're not just sort of running with another message. So, Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. Now, if you guys are interested in a private reading, I do have an offer going on right now. Save 35%, okay, on everything at prairievintagejewelry.com. So that includes jewelry as well. Extended readings, private readings. If you enter in the code SUNSHINE35, that's SUNSHINE 35, and save 35% off from now till the end of March. I'll put that information below. Okay, so these cards are super stiff. Spirits, how is pile number 3 feeling about the person they came here about? How will they know this is their reading or their pile? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of this connection. Thank you so much, pile number 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I don't feel like I could get a really good shuffle with these cards because they're so stiff. My goodness. All right. Needing some flexibility here. How is it that pile number 3 is feeling? How will they know that this is indeed their reading about the connection with the person they came here about? For pile 3, clear and concise message. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of this connection. Thank you, Spirit. Please help me to channel in a way that pile 3 will understand. All right, and then we'll pull the oracles for your person's feelings. Let's take a look. We have the tethered one. This is the Hangman in a traditional tarot. Okay, Pisces energy. And then we have the Knight of Cups in the reverse and the Page of Swords. Ace of Wands in the reverse, and the Nine Pentacles, and we have the Ace of Swords, 2 aces, and then we have the Hierophant, Taurus energy, and under that we have the 10 of Cups. All right, so let me sit here with this energy. What's under 10 Cups is the Hermit, Virgo energy. All right, just give me a second. I don't know if I said Pisces, but Pisces is here as well. Fetal position. Fetal position came out for pile number 1. There might be a tie. Let's see. Okay, pile number 3. Remember, this could definitely come flipped and reversed because sometimes my readings come this way, which could definitely be, your person's feelings up at the front and your feelings up at the back. I can't help how that comes through here, okay? But I'll read this like how you're feeling here. This feels like it's your person is what it feels like. It could be mirrored as well. I'm just going to read it like this person, okay? Because I'm not trying to confuse you. This person that I'm tapping into here energetically, there seems to be a realization that's coming online that's going to allow this person to break free from some sort of way that they have been for quite some time. I do feel it's quite some time because it does feel like a coping mechanism or a protective way of engaging, to protect themselves, their heart, or whatever. It does seem like it could be something that's happened at childhood. It does feel this way, okay? It feels like this person could have been stunted when it comes to a relationship, or maybe just haven't experienced or a connection pulling them in a direction that's different than maybe what they're used to. They could keep things sort of superficial or at an arm's distance is kind of what it feels like to me, in order to protect themselves or just shut people out. That could be their MO, but it does stem from pain. Okay, it does feel like an immature energy, but not somebody who's immature per se, because they could be super old, you know what I mean, experienced in life. But it seems like something got stunted along the way here in regards to their understanding of themselves when it comes to connection. And I feel it's coming online because I do feel like this has held this person back from honoring their feelings. So this is someone who has a difficult time maybe expressing their emotions, being vulnerable, showing how they feel, going after what they want, and holding themselves back. So there seems to be a lot of self-control here. And this could be somebody who's comfortable in maybe fantasizing about what they want or dreaming about. And so to tie it back to this connection, they could have had a lot of fantasy or dream about, you or what they want. If this is, of course, flipped, you could flip it if you want, But it's like, but I'm sort of stuck here. I'm sort of stuck here because I'm not sure and haven't been sure on how to take action on my feelings and to drive my own truth in the real world in some way. So no matter how much I feel love or passion or desire, or how much my heart calls to me, or how much my intuition knows that there's something, I've been sort of feeling stuck or something like this. But they've been working through an understanding because, like I said, there does seem to be a realization or an understanding in a period where there was no movement in order for them to really hone this understanding. And I feel like there is a new beginning that this person can experience in their world about who they are and what they want. And a whole new confidence coming online for this person so that they can make themselves available to in the 3D world, to make themselves entertain a new beginning. Okay, but I feel it's been a painful experience for this person, regardless if it's been their decision to stay stuck or not move. Okay, it's painful. Or it has been, I should say, because we're not able to go after what we sort of want to do. And I do feel like with the Hierophant here, and this Hangman, it's like a program that this person would carry about who they are and what they have to do in order to feel safe. It could be because they've experienced maybe a past relationship or a marriage, that failed. And now it's like I'm frozen in fear in some way. I'll never be vulnerable again or do this again or whatever. Or I've been brought up in a certain way that I experienced something. And so I created a coping mechanism that protects me now from pains and sufferings. And so I'm blocked here in pursuing my passions and my desires. Something's also coming through about this person could, I don't know, have like a challenge with like shame around following their sexual desires, even. Okay, there could be like a lot of shame around that for some reason, or just expressing our feelings is something that we don't do. Now, I don't know, it could be because I'm a certain gender, I don't do that, or it's just in our culture, we don't do that, or just a belief here that I've carried. Okay, but there is cutting through these beliefs or these understandings, because I do feel like this connection is showing this person what emotional happiness could look like when they engage with other to celebrate life and celebrate feeling happy and the finer things here of belonging. And so I do feel this person felt very alone. They could be somebody who is like a loner, or like, what's it called? Well, not a hermit, but you know what I mean? Like, not an introvert. Okay. Could be someone who's an introvert who just feels comfortable being introverted. Even if, they have people around them, it's like there's a certain side of them that they shut off to the world. It seems like it's sort of lonely here. But I am getting that if this person, okay, I don't know why your person would be coming through, but this is kind of what it feels like, because I don't feel it's your energy. Okay. But it could be. But I feel like this person has had to sit through examining and understanding the truth of themselves. And so it's like I have to sit and really, really understand my truth without resistance, and recognize, why I'm sort of maybe shutting the world out, or why I feel like I need to protect myself, or why I feel like I need to be sort of protecting myself or alone. And in order for this person to sort of commit to happiness and a future here, that they dream about for sure for themselves, there has to be standing on one's own legs, So I feel like this person's learning all about healthy confidence of standing on their own, rather than a hyper independence of being on their own as a way to cope and shut people out, because there's a big difference. And they might have felt very independent and strong and on their own, but I feel like they were tethered to pains of the past, or an experience of the past, or a conditioning of the past, or programming of the past that blocked out love and blocked out people. And so now it's like, how do I fill myself? How do I allow myself to be okay in my own energy so that I can be able to go towards what I want? And so it still seems like an early energy of standing on one's own 2 feet, so that one knows one's own confidence and one's own truth. And so this person could have been very conflicted about, how do I really feel? What is it that I really want? How to really go after it? Because the belief of the illusion could have been very strong, of like, relationship's not for me, or maybe even convincing themselves that they don't have true feelings, or like can be vulnerable, or can take action on it, that they could just dream about it or upon it. Okay. It feels like this person is highly intuitive. I do feel like this person is being called to take action on this truth that they're finally seeing and understanding. And I do feel if you resonate with this pile, then this person has taken quite some time, like on their own, or apart, or separated, or just reflecting, where there hasn't been movement, or it seemed like this person was not expressing or going after it, or I don't know, but this seems to be something that is changing. Okay, so I don't know if this person is just recently sort of opening up, or for sure they're slowly having this different sort of understanding than they have in the past about who they are and what they want. And I feel like this person is sort of honing their confidence about how to speak their truth, because it could be that this person hasn't been able to really even communicate what they want, For sure, there's block in expressing one's emotions and passions and desires and moving towards this truth. Feels like someone who was very stuck, So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you resonate as this, being an energy that's familiar to you, then this is your pile. Okay. So let's see. Very interesting. We'll look at, I guess, your person. The back end of this is your person's current feelings and why they feel the way they feel. Spirit, for pile number 3, can we take a look at pile 3's person's truest feelings currently about this connection and why they feel the way they feel? What is pile 3's person's current feelings towards pile 3 specifically, and why it is that they feel the way they feel? Thank you so much, Spirit. And thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. So blessed to be here doing the reading. And then we will pull the oracles to sort of confirm what we're seeing here. 10 swords in the reverse and the Lovers, Gemini energy. Now, I'm curious to see what this back end is. All right, so we have the Awakening card, which is Judgment in a traditional tarot. And under the Awakening, see how there's 2 people here. One's still wearing a mask. One is sort of taking the blindfold off. Strength under that, Leo. 2 major arcanas. 3 major arcanas with Lovers, Gemini. 8 swords in the reverse. 10 swords in the reverse. Knight of Wands, clarified by the Lovers. King of Cups in the reverse. 3 Pentacles, and the 6 Wands in the reverse. Okay. Interesting. These are both Eagle cards here. The Emperor under that Divine Masculine Aries energy. Let me see. Lots of major arcana here. Major. Let me see. Okay. Interesting. Take that first energy however you take it, because again, I don't know if it's you or your person, okay, but I'm just going to read this as it is. And you can sort of connect it as you will, because I do feel 2 energies here. Okay, and I do feel you're sort of starting to maybe have a good understanding of what's going on in this connection between you and this person. Okay, I don't feel like your person is still sort of in the blind so much. Okay, because I do feel like this other energy is pulling from the person on your mind, which is one of, again, this realization that whatever I did believe, okay, with the Hangman, or whatever Hierophant story was told to me, was a limiting thought, which was keeping me in place. It was holding me hostage. I was protecting myself, or for whatever the reasons, justifications of why I was doing it, or whether it worked or didn't work. All I know is it's limiting in this connection. It's restricting. I have to put an end to it. Although just knowing this and doing it are 2 different things. So this person has been working through their limiting thoughts and putting an end to that way of being so that they can lean into their confidence to show up here. I feel this person has heavy defenses, very guarded. Normally the Knight of Wands isn't as heavily armored here, Usually the Knight of Swords is wearing very heavy armor. This Knight of Wands has a lot of armor. So I feel like there's a defensive, I need to protect myself, and we develop that, like I said, at some point in our life where we experience something that hurts us. They were in the fetal position, So it could be a childhood, whatever. That Hierophant story was created to protect me. And now I have to learn to trust my own moves, my own confidence, so that I could go after what I want. This person has a lot of passion, desire, and fire for you. I also feel like this person might be very dependent on themselves. Like I said, with the Hermit there, and like, I can't trust anyone, but it's a hyper independence on self, so much so that it blocks everyone out. And like, what's the healthy energy here? What's actually freeing and independent? Because we're not free and independent when we are in fetal position, tethered to a story of what holds us in place, no matter how safe we might feel, you know? And I think this person's realizing I was never really free. I was prisoned by those thoughts. I was stuck with that belief. And this person really honors freedom and independence here. And maybe they didn't want to be trapped or whatever, you know, because again, I was feeling that very introverted energy of like relying on one's own energy. But it's undeniable how they feel about this connection. I feel the feelings are mutual here for sure. Okay, we're seeing the mirror. I feel this person feels like they're an extension of you, or you're an extension of them. It feels very much like, I don't know if you guys are seem very inseparable here, like one and the same. In fact, I'm sort of getting your energy as this person's energy and vice versa. I feel this person feels super connected to you. Okay, and maybe that's why the beginning came out the way it did. It's like there seems to be a mirroring here, a reflecting of similar souls in a way here that Spirit is sort of highlighting. And it seems like you guys are very in sync. And so when one sort of awakens, the other one awakens as well. There seems to be something that you're understanding or seeing or have always understood or saw, okay, that you've realized. And I think it allows this person or guides this person or helps them see some sort of truth about themselves. Something very destined, very, very much so here, okay? But their lesson about breaking through limiting beliefs, putting an end to things that come up in their mind that doesn't allow them to chase what they want. And they don't have to chase, but show up, be confident, go after it, you know? But they're still sort of guarded and defensive when they do show up here, okay? Because I feel the biggest one is about them opening up emotionally. I feel there's an emotional unavailability here that's been haunting this person because of their thought story. And I don't feel like this person fully knows how to emotionally be vulnerable and express themselves. And so they might show a lot of passion towards you. They might show that they have desire. They definitely feel very guarded or defensive with their energy. So they might not let you fully sort of in on your own terms. Okay, but I feel there's a lot of deep, deep love here. And we see two people here. And this King of Cups is sort of filling this other person's cup. And it's in the reverse. I feel like this person's emotionally sort of stingy here, you know? And it's not to withhold from you or anything like this, but it's like, if you take from me, it's like a scarcity, you know, that there's lack here, that then it's like it could be taken from you. So nothing can be taken from us, you know? Emotions aren't something that once we give it, it's gone. And this is what it seems like. There seems to be an understanding, or has been an understanding, that when I give of this emotion and it's taken from me, then, oh, I'm without it, you know? And then I'm left vulnerable, or I'm left exposed, or left, and that's an untruth here. So how does your person sort of deal with this? I feel like your person wants to show you in the practical way, acts of service, not acts of emotion, but acts of service. I feel like this person is really being challenged with, there seems to be like an idea that they might have of how success looks like in a connection, or how they have to appear, you know? And as long as I have that belief, because it was a Hierophant belief, that maybe a relationship is going to take from me, or that I have to lose my independence, or that I got to be a certain way. That's a belief that's not necessarily true. And so it's like, as long as I thought I had to look a certain way, I might have avoided or was sort of standing still in this connection. But once I see through the illusion and no longer carry that sort of egoic story or understanding, because I see through the false belief here, that I don't have to appear a certain way or do something here in order to succeed. and then it can show up. And I feel like your person is going to show up, wants to show up to work with you. Okay, because how they feel is, I want to work with you, I want to show up, acts of service, but I feel very protective of my emotions, and I feel like there's still something I need to work through when it comes to my beliefs about exposing my vulnerability or my feelings. And it could be just, my strength is shown here through acts of service, what I can do for you. Not necessarily that I'm emotionally available to express emotions or be vulnerable. I feel like this person has been very held back energetically from you for some time. And I do feel like this person lacks the confidence in succeeding when it comes to this connection. And I feel like they want to put the energy and the effort towards exploring this thing because their desire to do so. But it's like still this very strong understanding they have of, but how will I protect myself? And the only way for me to protect myself by experiencing pile number 3 is to not fully be vulnerable or totally express how I feel here. But I don't think that they know how to do this anyway. So it's not like they're choosing. It's more like I'm in a held back energy of expressing emotions or being emotionally vulnerable or expressive here. I feel your person feels very, very, very pulled to your energy sexually and physically. There's a lot of attraction. There's a lot of pull. I feel your person likes that they feel free. I feel your person also has an energy here of feeling very powerful in their energy. You might make this person see the truth of who they are, for sure. I also feel like your person might have not have ever really been seen, like you really see this person's truth. And I also am getting a message that like what you say and do really sort of influences this person, not necessarily what you tell them to do or anything like this, but it's like you're like a mirror to this person. Okay, it's very tied. And so I feel like your ability to sort of stand in your own strength allows this person to do the same, because I feel like they feel seen by you. I feel like this person could definitely be somebody here who is lacking a lot of confidence that you're giving to this person, because we saw the 9 Pentacles in the future sort of position in the first round here. And this is like a lack of confidence or like feeling like we'd lose or we weren't valued or seen. Seems to be something about not being seen or valued. It's like, will pile 4 ever really see the true me or value me for who I am and what I can sort of do here? Because I know, okay, again, another sort of limiting belief. I know that I'm emotionally incapable of pouring into someone or being available. For me, that's not a thing, or I don't know how, or I'm held back from that. And pile number 4 knows this, pile number 3 knows this or sees this. And so they're working through this whole thing. It's like you see through this person for sure. I feel I'm missing something though. Okay, but why your person feels this way, I feel is very Hierophant driven, is very much this need to sort of protect one's own self. I feel there is a lack of self-confidence and an emotional unavailability that is stemmed from a protective thing. I'm just going to pause and then we'll do another round here, okay? Give me a second. All right, so pile number 3, sorry, that was Spotify notification. Maybe you and your person share a lot of music together. I was going to pull the oracles, and I still will, and that maybe would have gave us more information, but I do feel like I'm missing something, so we're going to do some tarot, and then we'll do the oracles. Okay, but let's dive into pile number 3's person's feelings, current feelings right here, right now, and why. Can we see what is it that I'm missing here in regards to pile 3's person's feelings and why it is they feel the way they feel? Why are they emotionally sort of unavailable here? And what is it that they're finally sort of working through there? Have the Lovers again. Now in the reverse, Gemini energy. Pile number 3's person's feelings and why. What do we miss? What do we need to see? What do we need to understand? We have the Emperor again. Now in the reverse, Aries energy. Pile number 3's person that they came here about, their feelings. Read here right now, spirits. All right. The world. Successful conclusion, wrapping up some phase in our world that needs to come to an end. But that's 10 swords, but this is like a major life sort of closure of something. Here he has the yin yang symbol above his head. Very tied, your energy. There's the Ace of Wands now in the upright. A new beginning. The Two of Cups in the reverse. The Emperor in the reverse. Aries energy. Page of Wands. Page of Swords coming out again. 2 pages here. Pages are all about communication, early stages of exploration, understanding. Could be children. Okay. King of Swords in the reverse. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And the Queen of Wands in the reverse, which is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay, let me sit here with this energy. Okay, beautiful angel, this is a beautiful message, okay? I do feel like I've been reading your whole person, or your person the whole time through. It's what it feels like to me, okay? But whatever, just apply it as you see. This person's revelation, because it really feels like an early stage of an understanding here of where they've been sort of held back. They've been working through that 8 swords in the reverse and the 10 swords of closing out their limiting beliefs because it's been impacting their world when it comes to connection. Okay, you've made them see this. I don't know that this person was always sort of looking for connection in some sort of way, but I feel like there was a hang up and a challenge in connecting with the 2 cups in their world. They might have been somebody who was very challenged in relationship, period, for all of their life, okay, or after a certain point in time where they shut down to relationship because of an understanding of a Hierophant belief that kept them feeling safe. It was an 8 swords untruth, but kept them wherever in their world, because I do feel like this person felt safer there than exposing themselves. And this connection is saying, hey, there's a destined path to follow. You can't keep sort of playing small and not going after your passions, your desires. And so this connection is showing this person a new understanding and way of being, that they're having to challenge their old paradigm that keeps them feeling like blocking love out, not bonding with other, not showing up to experience love in its finest with another person, on a one-on-one. So maybe they have an okay time with friendships or like being, in surface relationships. But when it comes to a one-on-one, this person has been challenged. I don't think they're ready yet to expose their cup and be an equal here to you. But I feel like what is coming online is my realization, your person, and understanding that in order for me to experience the 2 cups, I have to be willing to learn. I have to be willing to try. I have to work through my challenge belief system structure, because this connection is something that I'm destined to experience here. And I haven't gone down this path because I was lacking the confidence or the understanding or the know-how, and that kept me stuck. I was denying and suppressing my truth of where I really wanted to follow. I really wanted to follow this connection. And so there's a realization too that they haven't been honoring their feelings, which has been making you maybe feel like not seen by this person and not appreciated, or you not getting what you deserve here, because they do feel you deserve somebody who's going to show up for you. And they feel very attracted to you. You're very passionate, attractive, intelligent. Okay, they feel you're very beautiful, very fiery, and maybe it makes them very, very nervous here, because it's like, how do I step up to you? So there is this fear of image, like that I said with the 6 of Wands. It's like, maybe you're not going to see me as your equal. Maybe you're going to see me as something that again, because that King of Cups in the reverse is like a truth, okay, in quotations, that they feel that they are. I'm just someone who's emotionally shut down, unavailable, and can't be vulnerable. Therefore, I cannot do this thing. And that's what I always believed. And you're going to see that and you're going to say, well, it's not good enough for me. That's not going to reflect back to me what I deserve or want. And when you do that, you sort of move on to your next thing. And this person's like, no, I want to try. I want to experience that, even though I don't know how. And I thought that I couldn't. And I still believe that maybe I won't be able to. But I do know that my only opportunity here, even though I don't know how I'm going to do it, is to experience this thing and put this whole chapter of the old version of me to bed. Close that out. And that's what they're doing. Okay. I feel like your person wants to be that thing for you, but I don't think they believe that they could be. But they're willing to try, and they're willing to experience and understand themselves differently. And I feel like it's working through this whole thing that they will see and understand a greater truth about themselves, because they're really led by their passion for you. And it's like, now instead of maybe listening to the fear, okay, or maybe being very sort of in the shadowy side of listening to, I don't know, some fixed idea, it's like I have this desire and this inspiration to experience and explore something that maybe in the past would keep me feeling very fearful. And it's this connection. And I don't think it's fully explored. I don't think this person fully claimed it just yet. I feel this person's navigating their way through to you. I feel they're working through their understanding of who they are and the truth of what it is that they truly want and what they can speak and say, because they have to speak their truth. They have to act on their truth. And now they don't have to do anything, but then they stay small and stuck and not spiritually grown. And so there's a truth about what fires me up and what I want. And when I don't talk about my truth or act upon my truth, then I'm sort of cowardly here. Then I'm not in my strength. And I finally can understand this. And maybe in the past, I thought it was stronger to be in that position, or that it was the upper hand, or that it was a stronger position, a protective position. But now what I'm realizing is that it's not strong. It's kind of cowardly or weak, or it's at the expense of missing out on experiencing a 2 cups. That's why would I miss out on something that feels so good? It feels good. And I want to experience this thing, even though, again, I don't know how or what I'm supposed to say or do, because I don't really fully have the experience, but I want to know. So I feel like your person is wanting to communicate with you, wanting to learn, finally understanding and seeing. And they recognize that something has to come to an end when it comes to an old energy of theirs that was keeping them sort of stuck, not exploring this 2 cups with you. Your person feels very connected to you. Okay, so let's take a look at the oracle cards and see pile number 3's person feelings right here, right now. Their feelings and why. How's pile 3's person feeling and why about pile number 3 specifically? Under a spell. Remember I said there was something very interesting about this energy, like it connected. And like what you do is sort of, I don't know, like it feels like you guys are sort of an extension of each other. Under a spell. This person does feel very pulled by your energy. This is such a cute little card. I always tell my twin, I look at him like this, is like this feeling of like, what's it called? Infatuation, okay? But there's strong feelings here. Under a spell. Aquarius energy. So we have 5. 5 is all about change. Okay, rebuild. 5 is about conflict, loss. But it's like the point of change. We have to make changes in our world. Okay, protect your heart. Yeah, they've been, like I said, there's this defensive energy about protecting themselves, and that's all they've really known. 47. Or 11. 11 is a very spiritual number, divine inspiration, synchronicity, the encouragement to keep going, and then service. Remember I said the 3 pentacles, they want to show you through acts of service. They're channeling their emotions through acts of service. Okay. I think this person is going to be able to, I don't know, be in your world and show up for you by doing things for you, you know? And maybe you're like, well, if you're wanting sappiness or like opening up or emotional pouring, I don't know that this person is there. Doesn't mean they can't be, but they're being guided here. Okay, 22 is a master number. It's all about divinely guided relationships, healthy energetic boundaries. I feel like this person wants to be there for you. I think this person wants you to feel good. And I feel like up until this point, this person feels like they haven't been able to reflect back to you your self-worth. Okay, but I do feel they want to do this. Going strong divine masculine energy from the 4 as well. This person might really like your hair. Okay. Maybe if you wear a braid in your hair, maybe they like to braid your hair or comb your hair, or when you braid your hair, something about this is coming through. Okay, so let's see. How is pile number 3's person feeling and why? illumination. So yeah, they're seeing the truth. Okay, and it's through the 8 swords. So it's revealing. It's the awakening. Space. This is giving me this the hermit energy that your person was living in. It felt very cold. It felt very isolated. It felt very much like lonely, and they might have not have realized how introverted or removed they were without experiencing a 2 cups from you, and like creating a lot of space between them and like the universe or other people in order to protect that heart and in order to not be vulnerable. And now they're seeing that this was counter productive or counterintuitive to allowing one's heart to feel, letting things flow, because I do feel they've been rigid. I do feel like that's their fear, is cups, emotions. They feel very much out of control with emotions, and it feels very uncomfortable to let things flow. So they've been trying to guide it in a way that's controlling and limiting and restricting and defending and protecting. And that's not how water works. That's to let it flow, surrender. Okay, and again, this one was sort of coming in reversing with this. I feel like that's the thing. They're working through surrendering to the emotions of the heart. And it's come slowly. I don't think it's going to be an outpour of how they feel and vulnerability and all of this. Okay, I think what they are wanting to do is to be doing acts of service. They're being guided to surrender. They're being called towards you. They're being called to allow themselves to let go of some form of control as well, I feel, by letting this sort of breathe. And they're seeing the truth of how they have been. Okay, they might not still understand what they need to do or say or how to emotionally express, but what they are seeing is the truth of how they have been, which has been restricting, limiting, and also not showing you your self-worth and your self-value in a way that they're wanting you to feel. I think they want you to feel good, seen, appreciated, and loved, but it's like, but I don't know how to do it with emotions and words. Okay, because I don't know that they have, or if they have, they were hurt by it. And so there's just this automatic block. So let's see, Spirit, pile number 3. What did we miss in regards to pile 3's person's feelings and why it is that they feel the way they feel? Pile 3's person's feelings and why they feel the way they feel. All right. We have the yin, which is the feminine, okay? Being comfortable in the feminine feeling, which is feeling feminine energy. Feminine energy is the opposite of this masculine, okay? And we got to find balance, allowing things to flow. We can't control feelings. They feel very uncomfortable in watery energy, letting the universe sort of, like do things here that makes them feel out of their control. This is what they're learning. This is what they're seeing and understanding. And they're learning this from your energy, like I said, because I feel like you're very much feminine energy. Divine Empress is going to show this divine masculine how to find balance, okay, through her love and her compassion and her feminine energy. So they're learning about this because we carry both masculine and feminine energy. We can't be solely stuck in some masculine tough guy energy, Imagine 7 cups, but I'm really getting this dream, this ideal future, this vision of what can be. Look at the 2s again. 22, master number, divinely guided relationships. Okay, but it's like I dream and I imagine what can be, but this means dealing with the fears with the moon and dealing with my emotions. And the moon's all about the emotions, okay, which is my greatest fear, to be vulnerable. But in order for me to experience this future, I imagine I'm being divinely guided to lean into my feminine energy here, okay? Regeneration. So this happens after this world. I have to sort of regrow into a healthy version of me. It's giving me that 5 energy, the change, in order to rebuild something solid and secure here. So I feel your person's been burnt in the past. I don't know if it's this lifetime, a past, or something that has hurt this person. Okay, but I do feel a very solid energy from this person. Now we're getting an 11, 46. 46 might be a significant number, but 11 is a twin flame number, okay, or the twin flame 11. So it could symbolize that. And then a deep knowing, 43, the hermit energy. Okay, or the number 7, which is all about faith, wisdom, reflection, understanding, Hermit again, spirituality, personal growth. Okay, so I think your person, through their fears of their emotions, they're going to know themselves. Okay, I think it's an experience that comes through working through the emotions that we get to see, but only through the fear do we get to see. You know, that's the only way to deal with the fear is working with it, not avoiding it or, you know, trying to fight it in some way. It's like feeling the fear and sort of doing it anyway gives us this deeper knowing of self. So I feel like your person's getting to know themselves. They're getting comfortable with their emotions through an experience, although there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of unknown. And they're having to trust their intuition. They're having to work through their fears. And it's really this vision of an ideal future that they want. There's some sort of a fantasy for them, because I don't feel like they ever thought that they could experience a relationship or a 2 cups for them, because they might have wrote it off. And it's like, this is a whole new beginning for me to flourish. And I'm finally starting to see the truth. You know, I feel your person has a lot of hope here about what can be. And the more that they feel this, the more they surrender into this energy. And they got to accept themselves and not be so concerned with the victory and what they can do and can't do and what they know and don't know. And so I feel like if there's any judgment on this person, this will block this person's ability to keep exploring more of themselves, because eventually this person might learn how to express their emotions, but I feel it is something still very far away from this person. You know, it's like they're just closing the chapter right now of old beliefs, protecting their heart, being defensive, being an introvert, keeping people out, thinking it's not for me, and being very much in their shadowy, strong guy energy with the strength, what makes them tough, what protects them. And now it's like, whoa, there's this soft energy that I'm not used to, that I got to sort of learn with the pages. Okay, so pile number 3, this is your reading. I hope this helped you, and I'll see you at the next one. All right, bye-bye. Hello, pile number 4, the Guardian of the Night Tarot. We're getting into your person's feelings and why they feel the way that they feel, and we're going to dive into your energy first so that you know that this is your pile. Okay, so please keep in mind that the energy could be flipped and reversed. All right. And don't force messages to fit. If you guys are interested in a private reading, I am offering 35% off right now, all private readings and jewelry at prairievintagejewelry.com from now until the end of March. If you enter in the code SUNSHINE35, SUNSHINE 35, you'll save 35% off. All right, so let's take a look at your energy. How will pile number 4 know that this is indeed their reading? How are they seeing the connection or feeling about pile number 4's person? How are they feeling about the person on their mind? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 4. Spirit, please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of this connection. Thank you so much, pile 4, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'd like to thank your higher self, your spirits team, and of course, Spirit, for this message today. Thank you so much, Spirit. I'm feeling this one here. For pile number 4, how are they feeling or seeing the person on their mind at this time? Cards are jittery. Could be the 2 cups of coffee I had right before this. All right, we'll pull the oracles for your person's energy in the back end. Okay, so let's take a look. We have the 5 of Swords, oh boy, and the Page of Cups in the reverse. All right, and then we have the Page of Pentacles, 2 pages, Knight of Swords. Pages are all about communication, same with this Knight of Swords. Okay, pages are also about children. Okay, 9 of Wands in reverse, King of Pentacles. All right, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And then we have the 6 Swords in the reverse and the 4 Pentacles. All right, and then we have Justice, Libra energy. What's under this Page of Cups in reverse? The 7 Swords in the reverse. All right, let me channel this energy. Okay, so how are you feeling? I do feel two energies here, and it's kind of how you're relating to this connection, which has been very challenging, by the way. I do feel your person is quite to the challenge. Okay, Five Swords is where we're sort of winning at all costs to sort of get some form of an outcome that we want for ourselves. So it could feel like very selfish energy, but we don't know necessarily where to draw in from. Sometimes we're just trying to protect ourselves. Sometimes we're just sort of acting out of impulse or whatever reason. But I feel like however your person's been acting hasn't been sort of aligned with your vision and desires for, you know, what you're wanting to experience in a union and a connection here. I do feel like your person has done something, not just said something, but they could be pretty harsh. I feel like they've really hurt you. You know, they did something here that's just broke your trust, is what I really feel. They lied to you, or they cheated, or they stole from you, or they just keep letting you down time and time again. And Spirit does want you to know, okay, that yes, this person could be very much immature when it comes to, you know, like their emotions. They seem emotionally very immature here, why they did what they did, you know. There might have been no real thought around it. And it's funny, well, not funny, but when I was saying that, I was really focused on my pin here with Jesus saying, I never said that, and he's doing a face palm. And what I was really getting was like this face palm of like, oh, I can't believe you sort of did that. And then I never said that. So there could be a denial, you know, of what I did and said, and I still don't see it. And it's like, it's so obvious, you know, with the face palm. It's so obvious. But when we're immature, or when we're sort of in denial, or when we're sort of creating that energy, we don't see the truth. So it's like, oh, because I feel like you see a greater truth or an understanding that this person was denying or not admitting, or they did something here and they never apologized, or they, so I never said that. I never came forward with the apology, or I never told you why I did that, or I denied it, or something like this is really coming through. Okay. But as we were saying, because they were immature about it. So whether they've apologized to you or not at this point, which I feel for a lot of you guys, this person hasn't yet come forward, or at least made things smooth. Okay, they haven't made things smooth for whatever they did in the past, but you should know here, I do feel like wherever they're at, I do feel this person feels bad, and I do feel like they do understand that what they did was not aligned with truth. Okay, I do feel they feel this way, but I do feel like there was a lot of immature energy and sort of a understanding that they had about within themselves as to why they did this. Not that it justifies anything at all, but I feel like they got what they got. Okay, and so I feel like this person sort of did it to themselves. And I feel like you might feel I don't know, for a lot of you guys that was like the final straw, or you just had to throw in the towel about this connection. It's like I can't just pretend it didn't happen, you know. And my only other option here is to just not engage with this person in some way until this person grows up or shows me some level of responsibility, or just like that they're more mature, or that they are solid and someone I could rely on, and that is not going to break my trust again. So I don't know if this person keeps sort of maybe trying to talk to you, but because this is coming through as a message, maybe when they come around or when they do talk to you, it's like they still didn't fix the thing or apologize or heal the thing. And so to you, it's just this person wanting to have conversations that you feel like, well, where's it going to? Like, it seems like it's self-serving, or they're just like trying to keep you as an opportunity in their world in some way without putting skin in the game. It's like if they want to actually like experience something here, they're going to have to say sorry or smooth things over, and not just sort of ice over things here. And maybe they've been trying to ice over things for some time, and it does feel like they're not wanting to let go of you. Okay, and that they are sort of, whatever they did, it sort of got hung up there. That's where the connection sort of fell off or broke off. But I also feel, okay, what Spirit is talking about here strongly, and this part might be hard for us to wrap our mind around, especially if we're not really fully understanding why we experience what we experience. There seems to be having to move beyond what has happened, okay? And I never say you have to forgive someone for what they did, blah, blah, blah. But there's a need to forgive when we want to move beyond experience and for ourselves. So we might need to learn about surrender and learn about forgiveness and learn about grace and learn about things a hard way, because this could be a karmic lesson. And in order for this connection to get back into balance or for justice to happen, there's something in your end here that's being needed to see, understood by you when it comes to surrender or forgiveness, so that you're not hung up or stuck on what they did and what was said and all of that. Okay, now if you're not stuck on it, then this person could certainly be still working through their way, but somehow there's a stuckness here, and I do feel it's coming from you. Okay, but to take that or leave that energetically about the thing of the past. It feels like you feel tricked and lied to, and you certainly could have been in the 3D, but there's so much energy that happens around the act itself that could also be true, that Spirit's wanting you to sort of also take in. Okay, doesn't mean deny that something's happened here or pretend, okay, not to be in cognitive dissonance or lies to self about it. But a true surrender does include a forgiveness and seeing beyond acts itself in order for us to move beyond. And so if we want to keep 5 swords going, it's like me against you. It's verses. And there'll forever be a verses as long as we believe in the verses story. You did me dirty, you did me wrong, and therefore I do not forgive you. Okay? And so if there is a potential here, if there is an opportunity for something more, the Spirit is saying there's a need to surrender, and there is definitely a need to resolve whatever this sort of thing is. And sometimes resolving it doesn't mean they have to do X amount in order for me to let it go or forgive them. This could just mean I can energetically find a way to find forgiveness there and let it go, however I do so. Or I could choose to be stuck here, hanging on to that experience forevermore, and nothing ever really resolved from that whole thing until I get to the justice I'm owed, or they do me correctly in some way. Okay, so if you feel done dirty by this person at some point in time, then this could be your pile, and we'll see how your person is feeling on the other side. Okay, and of course, if somebody lied, cheated, and stealed, we feel a certain way, from us, however we take it. And you're absolutely okay to feel the way that you feel. But now the karmic thing here, or that justice, is all about your own energy, freeing it up, rather than staying hung up or stuck on something. Because karmically, something needs to be freed forwards in order for there to be healing, in order for there to be coming out of a them versus you 5 sword energy. And we can't say they got to do it first, because then that's coming at it with the 5 swords. And if we come at anything with the 5 swords, all we get back is 5 swords. When we come out with love, we get love back. Whatever you put out is what comes forward. Okay, and that's interesting that I was even pulling Jesus here, because whatever you put out comes back to you. Okay, so let's see. Clear and concise message regarding pile number 4's person, their feelings currently about pile number 4. What are their truest feelings right here, right now for pile 4, and why? Page of Wands. Pile 4's person on their mind. Why do they feel the way they feel? How are they justifying their feelings? Why do they feel the way that they are feeling? And how are they feeling about pile number 4 at this time, Spirit? Thank you so much for this message. Please help me to channel in a way that, wow, this is going over here because I do feel a separate story. Please help me to channel in a way that pile 4 will understand what is being communicated. Strength. Leo energy. 9 of Cups. Under that's the 4 of Wands. 4 of Wands is my 1111 Union card. Under the 9 of Cups. Peacock could be talking about ego, okay, but expression. Being seen. It's giving me 6 Wands type of energy as well. Nine Cups is personal satisfaction. Page of Wands is clarified by the Two Swords. And then we have the Death card, Scorpio energy in the reverse. 10 Pentacles in the reverse. 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. Strength, Leo. I do feel I want to see what's going on here. So we have the High Priestess, Pisces. 4 Cups in the reverse. 7 Swords again. And then the 6 Swords. Okay, I do need to make some room here so that I can channel this information. Okay, give me a minute here to sit with all this energy and see what Spirit's saying here about this person's feelings. Okay, interesting energy. This feels to me like an immature energy, you know, that's still spiritually sort of growing and learning. And I feel if you do resonate with this being a soul tie connection, very deep, okay, not just run-of-the-mill experience. If you had a run-of-the-mill experience with some one-night stand and you're not haunted forevermore by what happened, you know, you could be hurt, your ego's bruised, that's a whole other reading and not this reading. I'm doing deep, soulful, spiritual connections here. And what this is telling me is that when we feel this tie, it's like that we have to, okay, now we don't have to do anything, but then we stay stuck and nothing ever changes. We have to learn the lessons of the karmic universe. And this is one of forgiveness and moving beyond what has happened. And as long as you do not, then this person will stay here in this immature energy. And the immature energy here, spiritually immature, by the way, okay, but they could be acting immature too, is still sort of wanting to hang on to the story and the idea that I was sort of doing the right thing, you know, and it's the best thing we can do at the time because it's all we know. And that is true. It's all we know at the time because all we know at the time is how we act, you know, even if it sort of feels below us. There's sort of a justification here about why I did what I had to do. And it's sort of right. But it was painful and it sort of did something here that it didn't help this connection. So this person wants to talk to you. I feel like this person, okay, just because they want to doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to come forward. I feel like this person feels like one path I could take is to do the highest thing that I possibly can that will heal this connection and release the past and make things better. That's very difficult because that's the more challenging path that would challenge my beliefs and systems and everything. And I'd have to release a whole big part of me that's still working through. Okay. Or the other path, which is the one that I always maybe choose or know that feels safe and that did what it did. Okay. And it's like, there's these two paths and it's like, I do really want to talk to you, but I know that talking to you would mean choosing the path that I'd have to. But that would be the path that's more challenging. But that's the only way to heal this thing is how they feel. To heal this thing, I'd have to do the thing, which is very challenging and hard. You know, I'd have to go through the ringer, explain myself, maybe you're an earful, whatever it was. I ruined it. I did something here with you. And now this person feels like you don't want to put the energy or the effort or be seen or talk to this person. And so it's like, if I feel that you feel this way, then I'm going to keep choosing the same sword that's easy for me, that justifies why I did what I did. Okay, I feel like this is a divine connection that can come into union that has to go through a lessons of sorts. And the only way to get to that union and that end is to go through the challenging path. And it doesn't have to be challenging when we don't resist, when we accept truths. That things need to be healed and released. There's something about cleansing, releasing that really needs to happen here. And I feel like if you resonate with this being a twin flame journey, you must release for that person to release. If you cling and attach to anger and what happened and all of that stuff, they will hang on to their reasoning. And we can say, well, they ruined it, or this won't allow us to build something, and it won't allow you guys to build something. The only way to build something in the future is to release angers and everything else here. Okay, so I feel like this person is being held back from coming forward towards you energetically. Either they know that they're going to go through the ringer, or they anticipate that there's going to be pain when they approach you, or that they have to do or say something that's going to cleanse and release all the things that they did, and they might not be sort of stacked up to do this. It's like, how could I ever have a reason or an excuse? There's nothing maybe that would justify it. Nothing will ever fix it or make it better. And especially if you hold on to that belief. Okay, and you might say, well, no, they can fix it by doing this, this, that, and that. And there's an underlying energy that says even if they did all that, it still wouldn't be sort of released. The release happens first. The forgiveness sort of happens. And then it's sensed that I could be forgiven. And so again, why the Jesus is here, because it's very important. Jesus is talking about forgiveness. Okay, 70 times 7. So this is about forgiveness always is the freedom. Okay, is the key to salvation here. And if we don't forgive, we cannot expect forgiveness. And so whatever you put out comes back in. That's a very strong message here. And so this person is sort of sitting in the energy of, why bother? You know? And you might say, oh, that's even more proving this person's immaturity. It's like, no, it's actually spiritual lessons that are being developed here. And it's very tied. Of course, this isn't everyone's reading. I'm reading for a soul connection here. That's very tied. And so it's mirroring your energy. It's a mirror here. And so whatever you're projecting and seeing in this person is actually a reflection of your own inner world. So if you're seeing immaturity, then look back in the mirror of self. Immaturity when it comes to what? Forgiveness and release. And it's easier said than done. Because to truly forgive is to have grace and to see beyond someone's sort of action, it takes a big spiritual person. So this feels like a big spiritual lesson of transformation of self. And then we can't go back to the same. So we need to heal, we need to release. And so this person's sitting in an energy of why bother? Because pile number 4 is never going to forgive me, or I'm just like this, believe that story. I'm a liar, I'm a cheat, I'm a thief, or whatever it is. As long as you believe that I am, then I guess that I am. And what do they want? They want to be able to move forward for sure. They want to move forward from this thing. But they feel like you'll either reject them or you'll be disappointed to see them, or even if they do, it's like this whole rigmarole that they'd have to sort of go through. And so they're being intuitively called to heal this thing, but it takes two, because it's not just one-sided here. And so the intuition is saying to heal, to release, to sort of work beyond this thing. Okay, but we can't dwell on the what has happened so much as we can what we need to do to move beyond feelings of what has happened so that we can sort of come together here. So I feel like your person might be even, like hiding from you in some way, because it's like, it's still the strategy that they want to use. It's like, if you don't hear from me or see from me, then you might not feel the way that you do. And so they're still trying to sort of control the energy in some way, because I want to appear in a certain way. So it's really about them right now and protecting their energy and how they feel and what they did and justifying it, more than it is that I hurt you or that I did the thing and that I have like a heart that feels heavy about what I had done and wants to make it right. And so as long as I carry that more focused on my own energy rather than what it was that I did with other, then I'll uphold this energy. And so this is why I'm saying it's mirrored, because we might be so focused on what they're going to do for me, because they're the ones that hurt me, and that's ego. I need them to make it better for me, or say or do this now for me. Me. And so once we start to sort of see other as self, see other as self, we start to act as if that person is us. And then the universe shifts and changes. And that's exactly what this lesson is. All right. So let's take a look at pile number 4's person and their feelings right here, right now, and why they feel the way that they feel. Spirit, clear and concise message for pile number 4's person that they came here about, and how they feel the way they do. Happiness and magic. I'm not going to read reversals here. So this is this High Priestess energy. And happiness is definitely this 9 cups. I feel like this person is trying to maintain some level of vibration here that feels like the only way for them to maintain a level of happiness. Seems very surface and superficial, by the way. And they're being guided towards what will actually truly release them and cleanse them of, you know, the heaviness and the burden and the stuff that they did. I feel there's a superficial, I'm going to stay content. I'm going to stay sort of appearing like nothing's bothering me. Meanwhile, you know, there's this massive transformation that needs to happen when I accept going through something that feels very painful. I feel this person's sort of in denial of going through the pain of apology or, you know, whatever they're being called to do here. Although, again, they don't have to do this thing, because I feel like this is a double lesson of how do I move beyond someone who does not apologize, or someone who is superficial, or somebody who isn't doing the thing I need them to do, because they don't need to do anything. Yeah, isolation, staying away from you, withholding themselves in some sort of world, pretending they're okay apart from you, or that things are fine if they just sort of do their own thing. Okay, but I mean, isolation cannot feel good, so we could pretend that we're happy all day long. And determination. So this is giving me that Knight of Swords energy. I feel like this person wants to prove their point. You know, like they're really hung up on why they did or justify their position, because it's like, I only knew what I knew, or why I did what I did, and they'll keep reinforcing that story over and over again. And there is some truth, obviously, from their perspective as to why they did what they did. And so until we see another person's sort of perspective or understand their reasoning, okay, it doesn't make it right, but we can accept their reasoning, then I think we're not really seeing the full truth. Because Spirit really wants you to see the full truth. The full truth is that everyone has a truth that is true to them, regardless if we believe it or don't believe it. Okay, regardless if we're hurt by it or we feel lied by it, there's a truth that they did and that they're wanting to believe until they shift and see things differently. And they won't shift and see things differently, because I do feel there's a defensive energy about protecting my position. Because when I don't protect my position, I got to choose the other sword, which is painful and release and all sorts of things here that I'm not ready yet or prepared yet to do. Your dreams are closer than you think. So Spirits is reminding a new beginning, okay, with this Ace of Cups that's all overflowing, okay, is really about how we decide to overflow our cup, how we decide to show up with our cup. And so is this union or this reconciliation or this coming together far, far away because they'll never apologize? It could be, or it could be tomorrow, or it could be right now, depending on how we engage with forgiveness, how open our heart is, how flowing we are. But we have to be sort of outputting what we want to see in the universe here. So there seems to be something about outputting love, forgiveness, compassion, okay, in order for us to experience it. It could be yours right here, right now, okay, or we could be, I don't know, sitting in an energy of having to work through forgiveness or anger in some way, okay? And we all take as long as we sort of need to. But the key is right here. Only we can hang on to the heaviness for however long, but it only poisons our own energy. 44 is a master number. Integrity is a foundation. Treating the earth as home and a temple. Manifestation and leadership. So I feel there's something about integrity here that was in question. Okay, but we could find our own happiness if we're not wanting to experience with this person because we don't trust them. And Spirit is saying we could be happy again. We can have a new beginning again. We can totally like have our cup filled. Okay, it's closer than you think the minute we sort of release this. Ripe fruits. 33, another master number. Wow. Reproduction, creativity, humor, Christ consciousness, joy, and harmony. I feel like something is ready here. It's more ready than we think, you know? And we might be really focused on what we see of somebody sort of acting as though nothing's happened, or maybe really focused on this person, what they're doing. Meanwhile, underneath, there is an understanding that what they did was painful, So we might have to step forward and sort of be the one to sort of take the action. Now, you don't have to, but it's certainly up to you if you're wanting reconciliation or peace or something like this, like a peace offering, like it's ready to be picked here. And the longer we sort of let the fruit sit when it's ripe and not pick it, it sort of rots. Okay, we could keep doing sort of spirals, thinking the same thing here. The messenger, yeah, there's something here about them wanting to communicate. Okay, this is also giving me high priestess energy. And I think what Spirit is talking about is the answer to whatever needs to smooth things out will be through communication, honest communication, not withholding. Okay, but I think we don't see what would come of this because we haven't had the true communication that's coming from trying to really find a solution. We might be really sort of trying to win the argument or be validated or right or seek the, that this person actually says sorry or something like this. Like there seems to be the 5-sword energy. At all costs, they're going to apologize to me or make it right or come correctly or do the thing I need them to do. That's not the solution, though. That's us forcing some sort of thing here in order for us to get our 5-sword energy. Okay, so I do feel your person wants to communicate. I do feel like there's something we're still not understanding or seeing. Okay, 19 is all about the sun, the clarity. Sun's coming out here with determination. So I feel like there is something that needs to be sort of understood and revealed as a form of communication. Okay, laughing and crying, 45, which is 9. So again, there's this pretending to be happy but hurt inside is really what I'm feeling. It's like I wear one mask or I'm just pretending like all is fine or all is well, but underneath there's pain and suffering about what I did do and how it happened. And, and I could keep this closed up. And so it might take a bigger person to sort of understand this or reach out or communicate something here. Otherwise, I'll just sort of drift around and resist the change that's asking me to grow as a person. And sort of this isolation, I feel this person might be avoiding you or avoiding what had happened. Because for some of you guys, like I said, that Knight of Swords is like they're talking or they're doing something, but they're avoiding apology or avoiding what happened. And then they're acting as if nothing's happened here. Okay, and it could be very, very hurtful here. But we know the truth inside, that there is pain. And anyone who would hurt anyone or lie or cheat or steal, there's pain inside. And so we can utilize our energy to forgive those who are not as healed. Okay, so we have by the book. So this could be some Hierophant energy for sure, but it's like, I think it's like towing the line, doing as I'm told or taught or understood. 11 again, you guys have a lot of 11s in your reading. Divine inspiration, synchronicity, encouragement to keep going. We might just be under a belief that we have to do something in order for it to go a certain way. And that's not true. We don't have to follow this sort of set thing, And that would be this death in reverse. It's like death has to happen however sloppy it happens. And I might be so like strict in following how it has to go and what they have to say and do. Yang, masculine energy. So I'm getting this in this energy of going after what we need rather than waiting around. It's like if we're waiting around for this person to apologize because that's the way it is, or that's the way that I've been taught to, I don't know, that I understand that's how connection is, then it's like we're not actually doing what Spirit is saying is in your hands, because in your hands is the power to create what you're wanting to see and experience here, okay? Higher power, that's the higher self. 4, divine masculine, new beginning with the 1, and then not for you, the number 6. With the fortune cookie, and under the deck, we have time for a nap. So, and the little fox again. Lots of foxes in this energy, okay, in your first round anyway. And fox is all about this 7 swords energy. I feel like this person is in a tricky energy. It seems very egoic. And in order to be a sort of a move beyond what has happened here, we have to connect to our higher power, which is the high self. The high self doesn't know of anger and resentments and sees beyond people's actions. People act in certain ways when they're in ego, when they're in shadow. Okay, and so there seems to be this person avoiding you and avoiding coming forward in order to make things better from a higher perspective. And I do feel like we could have two sort of people stuck in ego or understandings of what the other should do or shouldn't do with the 5 swords, so much so that we're totally focused on the other person rather than what we can do. Because the kingdom at hand is here, which what does that mean? That means happiness for me, a new beginning, opening my heart is here. It's not waiting for someone's timing, you know. I could be happy right now. I could show love right now. I could show forgiveness right now. It's not dependent on somebody's learning or not learning or coming forward or not, or apologies or not. I can have an open heart today. It's ready. It's ready to be experienced. And once I learn this, I am set to have a new beginning in love. That's the higher power. I'm moving beyond the physical plane here of how I was shown, because I want happiness for me. I want to experience love. I want to open my heart and forgive energy so that I can move. Okay? Because I feel like whatever energy you're in that's not for you is saying whatever you guys are experiencing is not reflective of the truth. And that's what's not for you. Doesn't necessarily mean that this person, okay, of course, if you don't want to hang out with this person or have anything to do with them, then maybe they're not for you. But I feel like it's saying the energy in which we're in and what we project onto this person is actually not aligning to the right vibration, right? And again, there's no right and wrong. It's more of the aligned vibration of your highest power or the higher potential or the higher version of you or the higher state of consciousness and understanding. And in order to vibrate here, we have to have a full heart. And it's ready to, I don't know, enact, you know? And I don't know if we're just following, I don't know what we're following, the old self, what we were taught, what we believe, what everyone else says a relationship should be, or someone did this and someone did that, and therefore this looks like this and this looks like that. And there seems to be a lot of rules and regulations or some sort of understanding that we keep following. So we have to be empowered to break that chain or that spell, connect to the higher power and ask spirit, what is it that I'm supposed to be connecting to here? Regardless if this person is MIA or acting immature or not showing up or still shady or, you know. So this person, I feel, is avoiding you. I feel this person is not in denial of sorts. I feel underneath it, they feel bad about what they did, but they're not going to just come out and admit this whole thing. I feel like it needs a higher power, meaning you can channel the divine through you and what you say and do that will break free and allow this energy to shift through what you say and do, because there's more that needs to be sort of understood and revealed that we still don't see or understand until we sort of do the thing and not wait for someone else to do the thing. Okay, because this person's asleep. All right, so I hope this made sense to you, pile number 4. And yeah, this is what I see. I'll see you guys at the next one. All right, bye-bye.